What's up, people? We're live. We're doing it. That's right. This is the Option Podcast. This is episode 264, I think. I don't care. Hey, this is my co-host today. This is Pete Turner, man. He's a vet, another vet. This is a Veterans Day podcast. This is going to be fantastic, my people. This is going to be grand. This is going to be great. And the episode starts right now. What's up, Pete?
Man, this is fun. I love it. I love getting to go to somebody else's dojo. I can't tell you how much I just love seeing how you set your stuff up. I get inspired. All this stuff. This to me is what life is about, man. Like I could have easily sat home and said, just pipe me in. But you're like, no, come in. And I'm like, yes, I do that. I want to get off the couch into real life and do real things.
Yeah, we're in Hermosa Beach right now. Where'd you tell everybody where you drove in from?
I drove in Orange County, which is basically the same thing as here, just a slightly different version of it. And not closer to the beach, but closer to the mountains. Man, it's nice where I'm at.
So, we'll make it a day, man. Yeah. Ocean Diner's got some killer blueberry pancakes. They got their bacon game. Ooh. And they actually close at 3. That's how good their breakfast and lunch is.
Damn.
And that's how,
that's awesome.
they're so good. They have them. They mic drop at 3 and they're out. So we came up with this idea for Veterans Day. Just this idea. The last time you came on the podcast, you and me were like, what would be cool if like we had something where like veterans would just tell veteran stories, right?
Yeah.
And I tried it before, but like all of the dates crossed with everybody. So I picked the one day that I knew every veteran I asked would pick up the phone and say yes.
Yeah.
And it's Veterans Day. Right?
Absolutely.
It's an easy day to remember.
Yep.
Easy day to put time around. And if you have to work and you tell your boss you want to do this, they get it. They ain't gonna mess with you on this day.
I had a meeting on the way here as I was driving, right? And it was about this movie thing that I'm working on. And I said, listen, I wish I had more time for you guys, but I got a Veterans Day thing. And it's almost as powerful as being in formation late and the sergeant going, why were you late? I got diarrhea. And everybody's like, oh, drive on.
We get it. I understand. Son.
Yeah.
Like no drill sergeant's gonna go diarrhea.
Yeah. That happened at basic, by the way.
Yeah.
The guy's like, and can we swear on here?
Yeah, of course we can.
So this guy's at the position of attention. Boone, that's his actual name. Why are you late? Drill sergeant, I had the shits. Drive on.
Yep. Don't you love how the drill sergeants, they have this heightened thing, right?
Yeah.
And then they can easily bring it down. Carry on.
Yeah. That's it.
It's like this soft voice. Carry on.
It's done. Game over. No problem. And this guy was the guy that messed up all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, you know what? There are some excuses that is no excuse. It's always an excuse.
Yep. Actually, since we got a little time before Steve Devlin, guys. Steve Devlin's going to come on at 12:15. Thank you guys for joining me. Leave in the comment section anything you want to ask our veterans. Okay, we're not shy. And once you start, we'll answer as many as we can. Don't forget to smash that like button. I guess it helps with the algorithm. Who knows? Who cares? We're just here. We're just here talking, having a good time.
Yes.
I guess this is another cool drill sergeant story, right? We had a guy who was kind of heavy set, right?
Yeah.
And he fell out of the run. We had a run in Fort Knox, and Fort Knox has 4 hills.
Yeah.
Misery, agony, heartbreak, and there's a 4th hill called No Name. So for everyone that served in boot camp knows what I'm talking about. And you get to No Name, everyone starts falling out, right? But there's one guy that keeps falling out of the runs, right?
Yeah.
And they had to go get him or something. And we're in formation like a day later. And the drill sergeant said, "Who fell out of the run?" No one wants to narc on each other, right? Like you're willing to do the push-ups.
Yeah.
You're not going to narc on your boy. I'm going to do the push-ups.
Yes.
And if my boy says I had enough, he'll fess up, right?
Yeah.
He says, "Who fell out of the run?" Right? Nobody's saying anything. He's like, "Who's fat, stupid, and wears glasses?" He goes, "Here, drill sergeant."
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my, that was awesome. That was like, have you ever seen a movie called A Ref, where they tried to break into a house and his getaway driver left him.
Yeah.
Left him, right? And it's Dennis Leary, right? He's like, I'm looking for a guy there. He's kind of like a fucking loser, right? And you narrowed it down to half the guys in the bar. He said, well, ask if there's a guy there named Murray. He's like, is there a Murray here? And Murray's there. He didn't want to say nothing because he knows he was calling him.
Yeah.
Right? He said, I don't think he's here, pal. He's like, well, ask if there's a waste of life named Murray. Try that one. And the guy goes, is there a waste of life named Murray? He goes, I'm right here.
I'm right here. That's so funny. Yeah. So what happens in formation when that happens? You know, when he calls out you guys are back, like, do you guys laugh? Because sometimes you can't laugh and they know they're being funny and they want you to laugh because then you start doing push-ups and that's part of their entertainment too.
Yeah. We made sure whoever's in first squad, because first squad's in front of the formation, don't laugh.
Right.
The drill sergeant might catch the guys behind us just like breaking character a little bit because they're just sharp.
Yeah.
You put your head down so you can look another way. They see it.
Yeah.
They actually, isn't that right, Mr. DeBeers? Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, he saw me.
If you look to your left, they will be looking at you.
Yes.
They're looking for that. And when you're all not doing it, the second you do something out of the norm, and they tell you this, like, do exactly what we tell you to do. And once you start doing that, and once you take accountability that everything is your problem.
Right.
So when your buddy admits to doing that, his battle buddy is supposed to be like, well, I should have ran with him more.
Right.
You know, and then the squad's like, well, it's on us. And then the platoon, you know, and then they're like, we'll recover, get up. Because the lesson's learned.
Look, like you can stand at attention or parade rest, right? And laugh, right? And break character a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like what I would call in New York a black comedy where you just falling out your chair, busting the gut. Of course you're going to get dropped. Everyone's going to get dropped. But if they laugh a little enough, the drill sergeant has a decision to make. He got to drop everybody or just keep his focus on this guy. But when the guy said, I'm here, he had all this energy. He just took it down. He's like, front and center, soldier.
Yeah.
You know, and he put him in my squad. It was a classic Full Metal Jacket.
Right.
That's your DeBeers is your
always
squad leader.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you already gave me 8 dudes.
Yeah.
That every time they mess up, you and the squad leader got to get punished together. So that's something a lot of people don't know. Depends. No, it doesn't depend. Whoever is messing up, the first thing a drill sergeant says, whether it's a drill sergeant in your unit instructing you,
right,
or like a random guy who's looking for privates to mess with, where's your squad leader? It's just like, man, I just want to run away. Yeah. You know, that guy over there. I'm like, where are you going? Come back.
There's something to be said for like we know the break them down, build them back up kind of thing. But then they're looking for the guys that are going to help them build them up when they're not there. And so they'll be like, you know, we see Jason over there. They'll say your first name, not to you, but they'll say it to each other. That Jason kid, he is a leader.
Right.
And they want these kids to pass. They know you're going to pass. How do we get, Delbert to pass?
Yeah.
Put him in Jason's squad.
Yeah. Well, if you're sharp enough, if you're dumb enough, they just got to keep an eye on you, right? But if you're sharp enough, they make you a squad leader to keep you busy.
Yeah.
Right? Like they drop me for push-ups and all that stuff. And and sorry about that. Someone just texted me. No, but they might drop you for push-ups and then they'll ask where you're from.
Yeah.
And when you say New York, everyone, like, all the alarm bells, all the drills heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, New York. Okay, right, or whatever. So it's like, we got something special for you. You're squad leader. You're squad leader for like 4th squad in this platoon, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna text my guy Chris Sanchez. We will call you. Where do I get the link for Zoomed In? And I'm gonna let Chris know we're calling you. We are calling.
One of the things too, when you get the guys that are struggling with like keeping up, because a lot of these guys are kids, they didn't have to pay attention in school because they had given up and all that. Mm-hmm. But they'll make it simple. You got to do 4 things. Memorize the tasks in this book, which we're going to practice nonstop. You will get that. That's easy.
Your 3 general orders. Right?
Yeah, you got to know your 3 general orders. You got to pass this PT test. We're going to work you out all the time. You will, if you're at all healthy, you'll pass this. Don't know, and we're going to teach you how to shoot. Mm-hmm. That's it. Like those are the things. And when you're freaked out and you're scared because someone's yelling at you, don't think you're not good enough, you can just calm down, and that might get that next kid over the hump because that's all they're trying to do.
Right.
It's the minimum standard.
Agreed.
Not everybody can make it for whatever reason, but it's not that hard. But you don't know that when you're in it. Mm-hmm. Like you're freaked out.
It is freaked out.
Yeah.
So, and here's the other wild thing. They're going to find out where you're struggling at immediately, right? Like if you're bottom heavy, then they're going to struggle with push-ups, right? If you're one of those guys that like work out, because we have guys that can work out and knock out, like in the initial PT test, they're knocking out 76 push-ups.
Yeah.
Right? So they already come upper body, whatever, but they're like, Wait till this guy does a 2-mile run.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that older rhino with the, behind the stampede.
Yeah.
So
it's absolutely being athletic helps because I was in great shape. I don't know about you, but I was in great shape and I showed up ready. I didn't pass the first PT test because they don't let anybody pass that thing.
I got dropped on the push-up line.
Right.
I'll talk about that later, but go ahead.
Same thing. But they also understand like, these guys again, don't have to worry about that. So they put me in the road guard vest, which is where I need to be because you want me running. You don't want me in formation because that's just, I'm going to thrive and I'm fast. But that whole thing of you get there and then you get out with that drill sergeant and you're in the fast group running and you can drop that drill sergeant.
Yeah.
Like that's a game changer because his name was Sergeant Manko and he wasn't in all that great of shape, but he's fast for the Army. And so I got next to him, I'm cruising. We're stepping it out. We're in the run and we got about half a mile to go. And I'm like, come on, Sergeant Manko, let's go. And he's a,
Yeah, that's what I call
him.
He's
He absolutely from deep in Louisiana. And he's like, well, he's like kind of mumbles at me something. And I'm like, I'm going to drop your ass. And then I started calling him by his first name because now we're not in basic, right?
Right.
We're on the road, we're running and you can do that. And then, but that put me at a different level and I got left for the most part. A couple of things got me left alone, but that got me left alone because Pete has a motor. He's not going to be a problem on physical things. And then, I was smart because I was already an E4. I came in with a college degree.
Right.
And that cleared a lot of weight away from me. I thought about the kids who were high school kids who had never been yelled at, all of them. And I tried to find those guys and just like nudge them in the right direction because they would freak themselves out about stuff that we can't ask any questions. I'm like, you can ask questions. As a matter of fact, ask questions because then they have less time to mess with us. And they would be terrified of these things.
Yeah, well, they're the first ones that say the only dumb question is a question not asked, right? I actually learned that in the Army. That's the first time I've actually heard that term. It was in the United States Army. So, and you know what? Only a temperamental drill sergeant would get agitated by it. Like a lot of them they'll do something humorous, right? Like someone will say, "Where you from, drill sergeant?" He's like, so we're fishing buddies now, right?
Yeah.
Are we kissing cousins now? Are we what are we girlfriends?
Right.
But what's going to happen at the end of that? He's going to tell you where he's from.
Yeah.
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. My drill sergeant was from Louisville.
Yeah.
He was stamped on his behind when he came out of the womb, U.S. Army. Man. So, and it's wild. He did boot camp there. He did AIT there because he was a tanker. 13 series or cavalry scout, one of the 13 series that make you stay there for both boot camp and AIT.
Yeah.
And then did drill sergeant school there, which is in Fort Knox, and became a drill sergeant there. Yeah. So he spent like the majority of his military career where he was born and raised, the Bluegrass State. Yeah. Where he was born and raised. That's so
great. You know where Sergeant Manko's next stop was?
Where was it?
I was his last class on the trail. Darmstadt. I saw him and he saw me and he's like, Pete, screaming across the cafeteria, And again, that's not common to have that happen. And I'm like, that's my drill sergeant right there, And he wasn't like the prime guy, but he was a drill sergeant he was my guy. And it was wonderful. Every time I came in, we happened to be at the same time eating shower or whatever, he would like yell my name and he'd talk to his guys and he'd point at me and it was good, right? Because we had that running showdown and I attribute all of it to that. Otherwise, he would have forgotten me. I'd just be like, dude, because we all look the same. I mean, we get confused as who the hell is that? Because we're all bald. We all got the same outfit on.
You're all wearing green, right?
Yeah.
You're all as bald as the day you're born.
Yeah. But he remembered me, man. It's
11/11/11/11.
Oh.
So it's November 11th. This started at 11 and is now 11/11. Now 11/12. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just wanted to.
That's the whole point of Armistice Day, right? Yeah. Which is also today is on the 11th day of the 11th hour and all that stuff. We stopped fighting World War I.
Yeah. Well, we're 3 minutes away from calling Steve Devlin, so I have a very interesting story I'll save for later. Okay. But you're right. They do. I think this is the reason why, like other countries, it's mandatory that you serve in the military for at least a year and a half or 2 years, right? Israel or whatever, and this and that. It's because you learn a basic fundamental way to behave like a mammal, right? And maybe we don't trust all Americans to have parents smart enough to raise their kids.
Sure.
Maybe,
Yeah.
some kids are raised entitled, like things are coming to them. And some of them are beaten half to death in a single sex environment, right? And really what we need is just one regular way where people can show respect and earn respect and teach and maybe, God willing, teach respect, right? Think about the value of getting up in the morning and making your bed.
Yeah.
You've just completed the first task of the day. So
some people can't get out of bed. 5:30, like, 5:30. No, 5:30 is when I have to be standing outside in the cold without a sweatshirt.
Those are like my weekends. Yeah. No, but think about this. Like, you could have a good day, right? Or you could have a really crappy day. But if you have a crappy day, there's nothing more exhaling than coming back home, right? And you go into the bedroom.
Yeah.
And you had this nice made bed. It's the reason why people like hotels, right?
Yeah.
So and I don't mean to put it on some simplistic, like too easy level to comprehend, but the value of just making your bed, the value of standing up straight, knowing how to walk, right? The value of taking care of yourself physically, understanding your nutrition, the value of having to do things that you don't want to with and having people you may not like tell you in a way that you might not like. Yeah. All of these things build character.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the crazy thing is you think it crushes everybody. It doesn't. There's not a whole lot of fallout rates from boot camps. Like pretty much everyone graduates. Yeah. So these professionals squeeze you in a way that you don't fold. They teach you how to, there's two things you could do. You could use, when someone squeezes your head, you could use it to fold. Yeah. Or you can focus. Right. These professionals, these professional drill instructors teach you not to, under those circumstances, to not fold but focus.
Right. And identify the weakest link. And now what are you going to do about it? Because this guy's in your unit. And yes, you're going to do a lot more push-ups. Yes, you're going to do a lot more flutter kicks. Yes. But you have to deal with this guy. And all of a sudden you realize he is us. We are him. Yep. And if we don't get that person up to the right level, then we failed. We all failed.
Amen.
You know?
Here. We are 11:15. We are going to call our guy, Steve Devlin.
All right, let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Name and rank, Marine.
Hang on. All right, I'm there now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're on speakerphone, and you might hear us echoey, but like for the podcast, you sound perfect.
All right.
Hey, what's up?
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day. So tell everybody, name and branch. Guys, go ahead.
Steve Devlin, United States Marine Corps veteran.
That's right.
Not a former Marine, not a whatever else they call us when they think we're no longer Marines.
That's right. Listen, like they say in Full Metal Jacket, from that day on to the day you die.
Absolutely.
You're a Marine. I got a nice little picture of you. I got a nice little screenshot of the Chicago Marathon. I use your Chicago Marathon t-shirt for this podcast. So we were talking about the value of boot camp. You're going to have plenty of time because you have to share with us a boot camp story or a military rib or like a prank that was pulled on you or you pulled on anyone. I'll give you plenty of time for that because our next guest is running late. But we stumbled on to the value of things that boot camp teach regular kids, right, Steve. And I started with just like making your bed in the morning. Like there's a value of doing that. Like you could have like a crappy day and you come home to a nice made bed, you feel you feel better about yourself. Give me something in boot camp. Did you go to Paris Island?
I went to San Diego, so I'm a Hollywood Marine.
Let's go.
San Diego.
I'm with Pete Turner. He's my co-host. He's an American spy. We're both Army, but nobody's perfect, Steve. Share with us something in boot camp that you think every young man coming in, because we have different class structures. There's spoiled kids, there are abused kids. Give me one or two things in boot camp that every kid is the reason everyone should serve in the Army or in the Marines.
I'll give you two quick ones. The first one is we arrive in the evening, and they don't let you sleep the first night. They keep you up doing all kinds of menial tasks, putting together supplies for all the guys coming in. And I can go, 24, 48 hours without sleeping. I think that is, unbelievable. You wouldn't think you could do that, but once you do it, you can. So that was one thing that I thought was fantastic. And now as I get older, I can't always remember what the second thing is, but it came back. I love that we all got our haircuts. and there was no more black, white, yellow. Everybody's green.
Absolutely.
So I've had that since I was 18. You're light green, you're dark green, we're all green. So I love that.
Yeah.
Me too. Everyone's head shaved. You're as bald as the day you're born, right? Everyone's wearing the same clothes, so nobody's teasing you because of your outfit, right? Yeah. Like Steve, he and I were also talking about the value of knowing how to take care of your body physically, understanding how far you can push your limits. And lastly, and we'd like you to take over. You're going to have the next question, Pete. But lastly, we appreciate a professional drill sergeant that knows how to squeeze you to get you to focus and not get you to fold. Because pretty much almost everyone graduates boot camp outside of physical injury, right? It's not like they leave anyone behind, so.
Oh, no, we dropped some people.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Talk about it.
Yeah, we dropped some people. We had so you had the physical guys who might fall into the physical conditioning platoon, PCP. We also call it the pork chop platoon.
Yep.
But no, we had guys mentally break and not make it through.
Okay.
And then you got the guys who lied about their criminal history. They got booted.
Yeah.
Or drug history, things like that. So, the vast majority do make it, but not everybody makes it.
Right.
And not just for physical reasons.
Yeah,
Right.
but I mean that's sort of the thing, right? The folks that can meet the minimum standard, which isn't that high of a standard, but yeah, if you're a criminal, if you are so out of shape, you have to go to a different unit to get back into shape. But the tasks themselves, if you are a regular American, you should be able to get through that. You don't got to come in shape. You'll be in shape when you leave. You'll be.
Right.
Everybody drops fat and adds muscle, right?
Right.
And that's the whole thing.
Yep.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, Steve.
Go ahead.
And this is Pete talking. Why do Marines love being Marines so much? Like Jason and I are Army guys, right? Like we're both Army, but we don't care, right? Like,
I was scared to ask this.
No, it's not a put down, but I love it. Like these guys will rock a flag off the back of their Harley and be like, I am a Marine. They'll fly a flag for the rest of their life in their front yard, right? But we don't do that. You don't have an Army flag anywhere here, right?
Right.
And so what is the difference between what you guys have and what we have?
So it's apparent every day. If you go out and you look at bumper stickers on a car, you'll see more Marine stickers than Army, yet the Army is 4 to 5 times as big as the Marine Corps, 200,000 Marines, maybe 800 to 1 million Army. It's because in boot camp, they instill in us the tradition and the men that have fought before us, and I'm sure you guys do as well. But then they beat into us that the first thing you are is a Marine. So my brother is Army. He was an MP. And if you say to my brother, hey, I heard you're in the military, he say, yeah, I was a military police.
Right.
He doesn't say he was a soldier. And if you ask me, were you in the military? I said, yeah, I'm a Marine. You then have to ask the second question, what did I do?
Right.
Because we are all Marines first, riflemen first. You can be an admin pogue, but you know how to shoot. You know how to fight. And I don't know if all the other branches do that to that extent.
Yeah.
And you just said, Pete, that pretty much everybody makes it through, not in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean,
there's a
I've
little
only
bit
been
more
through
going
one
on
boot
there,
camp.
right? Yep.
Yeah, I've only been through one boot camp, but the Marines are the only service that require any prior service to go through boot camp again. If I wanted to be in the Army after I got out of the Marine Corps, I don't have to go to boot camp.
You go straight to AIT. Yeah.
Right. I think it's the indoctrination and, I'll go ahead and call it what it is, the brainwashing that happens in boot camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree.
You're going to be a Marine forever.
And I agree with you in a sense that I just go through all of the branches. Like we got someone in the Air Force coming up, right? He doesn't say he was an airman. He just says he served in the military, right? Army, prior military, right? Sailors, no one says I'm a sailor unless they're so proud of the Navy that they, whatever. Kiefer Sutherland said in A Few Good Men, we love all you Navy boys because every time we go to fight, you give us a ride, right?
Yeah.
So, and I am very, very intrigued by your level of truthfulness.
Yeah.
And honesty about that military or branch is not like I'm prior service.
Right.
No, screw off. I'm a Marine.
Yeah. People say you used to be a Marine. You're an ex-Marine. You're a former Marine. I'm like, no, I'm a Marine. The best term that we've come up with is a Marine veteran.
Right.
I'm still a Marine, but I'm not serving.
Right.
But nobody corrects you if you guys say you used to be a soldier. You're a former soldier. You guys are like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's different.
And it has to be boot camp. There's no other explanation.
It is because every male member of my family is served in the military. And the only Marine was
Did I lose you, Jason?
No, I'm here. We're here.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, we're here. But yeah, every male member of my family served in every single branch. We only had one Marine, but I have a lot of friends who are Marines, and their boot camp, there seemed to be a little extra sauce on that. And like anyone in the Army that wanted that sauce had to go to Ranger School, right? Or had to, maybe another 21 days, airborne school to get their wings, right? So I do appreciate like Paris Island and even the Hollywood Marines. There's something a little more in boot camp that happens that makes you fanatical about in a good way.
Yeah. You guys also had those fantastic commercials with the uniform and the sword and going to the position of attention with the sword. Yeah. If you were inclined towards that kind of group, I think that you're also inclined to go like, I am a Marine kind of thing. And then the other commercial was you guys fought a lava dragon with a sword.
Do you remember that?
And I'm not mocking that. I'm like, that's badass,
Steve, you remember that? They fought a lava dragon?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And so that would never work on me, right? Army of one, a guy running by himself, that works on me.
Say, you guys are an Army of one? What is that?
I don't know, but it worked. That worked on me, yeah.
I forgot about the lava dragon.
Yeah. And he won. He won at the end of the commercial. He won. You're like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And so I think, you guys gather up those dudes that want to be, the few, the proud. And we don't have that. Maybe we're just too big to have that kind of passion, have like a family reunion. Like we're just too big for that stuff, maybe. And that's not a good or bad thing. That's just a size thing.
Right.
And my brother had gone in the Army. We're less than a year apart. And, sibling rivalry, I had to outdo him. So, all right, you're a soldier. I'm going to be a Marine.
There it is.
There's, different connotations to that. So I came home. I'm still beginning of my senior year of high school. I'm 17. I did parents' permission. And my mom was confused because my brother, he's these days 230 or something like that. He was always a bigger kid. And I was, back on 150 pounds. And she said, I'm confused. Aren't Marines supposed to be bigger than soldiers? I'm like, that's not how it works, Mom.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That's what she thinks.
They all think that way. And I thought that way until I got in.
Oh, yeah.
And then my drill sergeant is like 5'7", like 150,
yeah.
but can lift you up with one hand. Like,
strong.
Like we're in the BRM range, and your spot is supposed to be in like 90 degrees. And he literally lifted the guy by the back of his belt, 90 degrees or something. Or I forgot the angle. But with his left, Steve. With his left. And the dude is like 5'7", like 150. So Army and Marines, they have something called ant strength.
Yeah.
And by the way, Steve is still in great shape for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Steve is ridiculous.
Marathon, so good job.
Yeah. So Steve, you got do you have a military story for us, or a boot camp or a prank?
I got two short boot camp ones for you. The first one, so not only my brother in the Army, my best friend's brother was a reservist who was on TAD, temporary assigned duty, to the recruiting station. So every time this guy, he's 3 years older than us at the time, he's maybe 19 or 20, every time he walks through the high school, these girls just stared at him. So, of course, his brother ends up joining the Marine Corps, and I joined with him on the buddy program. And everything was fine until the brother went to recruiting school in San Diego, popped in to see us, and said, let me see my brother and his buddy program guy, Devlin. And now all of a sudden, anytime Pete was in trouble, I was in trouble. Anytime I got in trouble, Pete was in trouble. So if you go on the buddy program, you're guaranteed to go to boot camp with that person and stay in the same platoon. But you don't want the drill instructors to know this.
Right.
And
I can
we had
picture
this guy, Sergeant Reyes, he couldn't pronounce Leish is the last name, so he called him Leash. He's like, go get Leash. You two are both in trouble.
That's funny.
It was great that I was able to go through with, somebody that I knew when I was there. But the second one that I never forgot, we're out in formation, and, they give you these silly tasks because they're trying to, and I didn't know it at the time, teach you how to follow orders without asking questions. So, we stop in the middle of a long hump, hike. I keep having to refer to civilian terms so people understand what we're saying. And everybody stop. Everybody take out your canteen, open your canteen, drink it. And half the times they would say they say drink it all. Half the times they'd say put it away. The other half they'd say put it over your head, turn it over, and somebody didn't finish, and go fill them up again. And this would go on until everybody drank it all. And I think after about 3, they finally stopped, except this one smart guy's like, "Thank you, sir, I have another."
Oh.
So they made him drink
no.
until he puked.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh my goodness. That's like a Chili Mac story, Steve Devlin.
Yeah, I think he had 5 canteens of water, and then he just started vomiting water.
Yeah. Jeez. You know, Steve, we had something where, you know how you have to do the gas chamber?
Yep.
To make sure the M17 series mask works. Oh, the protective mask, not gas mask, but protective mask.
Well, that's not what it's for. It's to make sure you don't panic. But yeah, go ahead.
Exactly. It sounds like a mask we know. But they in boot camp they would feed us chili and macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
And I don't know what it did to your stomach, but they put you in the gas chamber and they make you take off the mask.
Yeah.
Just to prove to everyone the mask works. So you're smelling in something, and I don't even know what kind of gas it was, but like everyone was throwing up after they got out.
Yeah.
It's like they wouldn't throw up in the chamber. They go out and the video, drill sergeants would love it. There goes another one. Hey, we got another one. We got a winner. And just everyone was throwing up. And it was chili and macaroni, and it was called Chili Mac. And that was like an example of one of the ribs that we had in basic training.
Yeah.
We didn't have too many people throwing up. It's like a tear gas. I think they call it CS gas, but I don't know what CS
it's tear
stands
gas.
for.
Yeah.
Everybody just had snot coming out of your nose. You're coughing. You're hacking. I don't know. I didn't throw up, but I guess people might have been. I couldn't see anyway. Right? You can't see. You can't breathe. But they're just trying to show you can do more than you think. And at 18 years old, you don't understand why they're doing these things. Mm-hmm. But they're training you to follow orders without asking questions. So when they say, Saving Private Ryan, who's going up the left? Who's going to go up the flank while the machine gun shooting? You just blindly say, "I'll go."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually remember that movie. He's like, "Who's going left?" And none of them. He's like, "Hey, who's going left?" Right. It's just like, "Sir, I got a bad feeling about this one."
Yeah, you got the captain going up the right. Mm-hmm. How is nobody volunteering to go up the left?
Right. What's your? Sorry, you got a question, Pete?
No, I was just going to say the gas chamber is a crazy thing. I didn't know it existed. And the only gas chamber I knew about was the one that had just killed Mark Alton Harris, a guy that when California's like, we're going to start, killing people again. And so that was the only one I knew of. And that was new. And so I happened to be, and I'm in basic and I don't know this, right? And so I happened to be at the chow hall at the main part of the post to do some admin thing just for like a couple hours. Mm-hmm. And so we saw some guys from basic and we were kind of grilling them. What's up? What was the worst part? One guy said the gas chamber. And I'm like, excuse me, what? The gas chamber. And I'm like, and they're like, no, it's no big deal. And I'm like, they people in a gas chamber. And they're like, no, it's not that kind of gas. I'm like, well, what kind of gas is it? And they don't know. And so I was like, what in the hell they try? And I knew that they weren't trying to kill us. So I knew there had to be something, but I had no idea going in at all. And it ended up being, look, it sucks, right? Especially at basic because they cloud that room. Later on, when you do your annual re-up or whatever, you walk through with no mask. It's no big deal. But yeah, that was a shock to me in basic. And not many things in basic shocked me because, I was 24 when I went through. But I was like, wait, a gas chamber, yeah. And then, they said, drink a lot of milk. It'll help line your stomach.
Oh, jeez.
Either they're A, lying to us, or B, trying to help us. We couldn't decide. And so we all just kind of went our own way.
Jesus. Steve, what'd you do AIT?
So I went to Beaufort, South Carolina. I became a combat engineer. After I got the big green weenie, of course.
Nice.
I signed up 9 months in advance, beginning of my senior year. Tested pretty good on the ASFAB.
Yep.
And I got my choice. I chose security forces. I think I'm going to be embassy guard. Turns out, no, you're going to end up in front of a missile silo.
Yeah.
So we're sitting around, 9 months later waiting. All my buddies are off at college, and Pete and I are just waiting to go in. And his brother's off at recruiting school. And the gunnery sergeant says, "Hey, do you guys want to go to boot camp a week early?" We're like, "Well, why would we do that?" He said, "Because you get to come home a week early. And if you go on September 26th, you won't be home for Christmas. If you go on September 19th, you'll be home for Christmas." I'm like, well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
About a month into boot camp, this, oh, by the way, you forfeited your contracts. I'm like, you asked me to come a week early. What do you mean I forfeited my contract?
Was that the recruiter?
I called him out on this 25 years later. I ran into him. I arranged to meet him in Philadelphia where the Tons Tavern was supposedly. And he said he didn't know that happened. Well, Pete's brother, Frank Leish, got him his contract back. He didn't get me mine back. But Pete sat in front of a missile silo in California for 3 years. I became a combat engineer, which is we learn how to build stuff and blow it up.
Yes.
So not quite an explosives expert, but we work with explosives.
No, you did with Frogman. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of sitting in California next to Pete, I went to Okinawa, first duty station. We got pumped out to the Philippines, went to the first Gulf War, got on a boat, hit Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, back to the Philippines for some humanitarian relief. So even though I got screwed in the beginning, everything always seems to work out for me.
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
Even has a term for it. It's called swaps. Working out for Steve.
Yeah. Swaps.
Good. You went from FUBAR to SWAS. Good job. Good job, my friend.
So combat engineering school out in Beaufort, South Carolina. It was awesome. I loved it.
So, Steve, we didn't want to keep you too long, but we just found out our 11:30 guest is, of course, he's Army, and usually the Air Force no shows, but this time it's Army. So we hope we're not keeping you, but it's actually working in our favor to just have this extended conversation. Steve, I'm with you in the sense that my Christmas leave got canceled because I think Desert Shield happened at the time and Desert Storm happened at the time. So they were speeding up. Like usually there's a 14-day Christmas exodus.
Right, yeah.
If you do boot camp during that time. Ours got canceled, Steve, because they were just trying to expedite the recruits, because I did boot camp. Look, my AIT was eventually going to be diesel generators, like power generation equipment repair, but I'm doing boot camp with tankers, cavalry scouts, tank turret mechanics. So the 13 series, who were staying in Fort Knox for AIT, they were just trying to get them in and out. So I was part of that group that got rushed. So that's very interesting that you said that you had the dates and they knew the dates, but they used it to hoodwink you. You got honeyed. I don't like that.
They needed to fill a spot. And so I'm like, but I was sitting here for 9 months, and you guys are just going to screw me right out the door.
Yep.
So,
well, that's my story with the Marines. I was originally going to go to the Marines.
Really?
And my recruiter calls me and says, if you want, we got a spot for you for boot camp 2 days from now. And I was like, what? He calls me 11 o'clock at night. He's laughing because he thinks I'm just ready to go. And I said, yeah, let me talk to my mom about that. He's like, no, we need an answer tonight. I'm like, dude, I'm living with my parents. I got to talk to my mom. And then when I went to talk to my mom the same day, Army recruiters came at the door. And my mom's like, yeah, he already has a recruiter. And the Army's like, no, that's the Marines. Because the Army recruiter found out it was a Marine recruiter. And we explained the Army recruiter our situation. And just like Steve said, it was their way to breach their contract.
Yeah.
I had a great Army GI Bill and an additional Army Marine college fund. So I had a college fund and a GI Bill that would have been forfeit if I left early.
Yeah.
And that's what made me join the Army. And the recruiter was, son, you don't want to be a Marine. Do you want to be a Marine or not? And this and that. I'm just like, dude, I know what you're doing. So Steve, I just want to let you know that the Marines were my first choice. And like you on the ASVAB test, I could have been a chairborne ranger for, I could have been finance, which, by the way, the minimum term for enlistment is 5 years, which I didn't want to do. I just wanted to do 4 or 3. So, but I'm not trying to make it about me, but it's interesting that I almost went that path, and I'm sorry that happened to you. But you know what? Look, you came out a Marine. Your commercials are sucking. Your commercials are sucking more. Remember that guy that had to dive on the diving board?
Yeah.
He says it hit me. He says, I remember I couldn't swim, but I remember my drill sergeant said, "Don't quit." So I jumped. I'm just like, you idiot. But to Steve's credit, scared and apprehensive, he came out a Marine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's a great thing to be.
Yeah. Steve, we got just enough time for me to say congratulations on your initial King of the Beach thing in Clearwater, Florida. Steve, this podcast, for everyone listening, all of our veterans are volleyball personalities or players. And I wanted to say that I thought it was a smashing success. I hope to see more. And I'd like to leave the rest of the time for you to talk about what you felt went well.
At the event?
Yeah. I didn't mean to veer from the vet stuff, but
No, you're good.
I'm very excited about what happened at the KOB.
So I've been fortunate in life. I have my own investment company. I call it Semper Financial Group. So I don't have to tell everybody I was a Marine. Well, I do tell everybody I was a Marine. Business is good. The market's been through the roof. I sold a property in Chicago and didn't buy another property. And we've gotten to know these professional volleyball athletes through volleyball vacations. Tom Davenport out of Denver runs a great program. I'm actually heading there from Hawaii this weekend.
Nice.
Puerto Vallarta. And I watched, they didn't make a lot of money back when there were 10 pro events. And then in 2023, there were 7 events. Last year, there were 3 events because they started the AVP League. And this year, they hosted 2 events. I'm like, you've got 2 events. So I went to the second tier AVP event in Denver, and Lotman and Billy Allen won 3rd place. They split $2,750. And they had to pay for their expenses.
Oh, geez.
Like, you guys, what are you walking with $500 after expenses? So I talked to Billy, known him forever, and I said, what would it take for me to get 80 of you guys out to Florida, and I'll put up some money? He kind of hemmed and hawed. He's like, I don't know, like $1,500 a piece, maybe $2,000. So I said, I'll put together $15,000, and we'll get 8 guys out. And then I said, I'll make it $20,000. And then I settled in on, I gave away $25,000 with 10 guys there. So
that's
minimum,
a great split.
You get knocked out in the first round, you get $2,000. You play 3 games, you got $2,000. And we had 10 generous sports fans who coughed up the money to cover all of their airfare and hotel. So when you win 2, you go home with 2.
Wow.
Good.
So
yeah, so it's like a paid vacation.
Good money in their pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And we even got John Hyden out of retirement for this.
That was great. How old is he? 52?
53.
Jeez.
And we put together a great little program. We talked about how Hyden's going to have to play against Evan Corey, who's half his age in the program. And then at the last minute, on Thursday night at 11 p.m., this is a Saturday morning event. Thursday night at 11 p.m., I get a call from Ganesh. He's got an injury. He's got Worlds coming up. He can't play. And within 10 minutes, I was able to fill that spot with Derek Bradford, another 6'9" guy.
Yes.
And he just had a blast.
Oh, my God.
Did you see that one bounce?
I call him up.
Sorry, go ahead. Mm-hmm. No, you called him up.
I call him up. We had talked a week earlier. He wanted in. He's going to be playing with Evan Corey. And I said, we're all full up. If we have a last-minute cancellation and in time to get you, we'll bring you. If not, I had Jeff Samuels lined up to do some pro demo stuff. He was going to be our last-minute guy. So Derek agreed to play, not even knowing that we were paying for airfare, hotel, and he didn't even know there's prize money. He's like, in his deep voice, like, yeah, I'll be there. And I get some help with the airfare. So he was a great addition. The pros loved it. A little respect for the old guys. We gave Hyden a bye into the semifinals because we had 10 guys. And then we gave Billy Allen a bye into the semifinals, which may have been just the advantage he needed.
Yes.
He came in first. So
wow.
The finals were +3, +4, and +5. Trevor Crabb lost all 3 games. So Billy lost by 3. Evan Corey lost by 4. Tim Bromley lost by 5. I think Billy playing 3 less games was the difference for him.
Yeah. Look, if you give Billy, yeah. That's wild, because if you give Billy enough gas in the tank at the end, he's going to do Billy things. Look, we can have a nuanced conversation about scouting him out and like looking at his pull chart. Like a pull chart is when you draw lines, like directional integrity of his power shots and his whatever. And if you look at his pull chart, it's the scariest thing. It's a coach's nightmare. Yeah. It is like I coached against him in the AVP Manhattan Beach, and he played with Jeremy Casebeer. And Steve, you coach a little too. We have a better chance of serving Casebeer than Allen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we lost 22-24, and that was as close as we got. But sorry, go ahead.
The event was epic. The guys were fantastic. They stuck around and played some hook after that. And we did a little charity portion to it as well. So people were throwing money in a jar for the pros. So we got $1,400 in cash that we split between the pros. Mm-hmm. We got some of the sponsors sent money directly to the pros. We're talking $100, $200. I know 2 guys got $1,000 from one person. And then the next day, if you bid high enough, you got to play with the pro, which is awesome.
That was great.
So we had a great event. Everybody had a great time.
Everybody
wants to know, are we doing it again?
Well, I have some people that want to invest in like a winner take all 2 out of 3 sets, like a weekly thing in Hermosa Beach. I'd like to talk to you later about. Offline. We're gonna queue up our Air Force guy after this.
All right.
But Steve, I'm so glad I got you on, man. Marines, be first, be fast, be hard. Pete, anything?
Yeah, no, man, it's awesome meeting anybody else who's been a Marine, and I have such a passion for that service. My brother was a Marine, and my buddy Scott is. Everywhere I take that guy, you're like the best Marine I ever met in my life. So I've learned to love your guys' branch of service and have huge respect for you guys. So thank you for your service on this fantastic Veteran/Armistice Day.
I appreciate it. Jason, thanks for putting this together. And I know we've got this great inter-service rivalry until the civilians show up, that we're all united.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah. We're like a bunch of Irish guys kicking each other's butt at a barbecue until someone else comes into the yard. Athens and Sparta. You guys are definitely Sparta, okay? It's true. Athens and Sparta, and you're Sparta. Yeah. That's the best way I know how to put it.
All right, Jim, I'll let you go, but thank you for the call.
Semper Fi, brother. Later.
Happy Veterans Day.
All right, cool. That was Steve Devlin.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So far, so good. And you know what? The other guy not showing actually worked out for everybody. Well. Like, we had extra stories. Didn't really want to talk about volleyball as much as we wanted to talk about military stories, but isn't that cool that we used that extra time to, I didn't know his company was Semper Fi something.
Financial.
Yeah.
Semper Financial. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's clever. That's like a great cover band name,
Yep. Let's go Chris V-Ball.
Well, we're going to call Chris V-Ball right now.
Chris Sanchez. All right.
There we go. Volleyball Chris.
That's what I have him in my phone as.
I have people coded too because I need context sometimes. I got a lot of people on my phone like you do. And sometimes I'm like, who is this guy? And a lot of them say, Chris, moved couch.
That's true. All right, come on, Sanchez. He is an actor, entertainer, film actor, theater performer, and former Air Force guy and volleyball guy. All right, Chris, don't mess with me. We live right now, dude. What you doing? All right, we'll wait.
You have reached Chris.
Okay, Chris. Air Force, right? Army's on time. Marines are early. Navy's late. Air Force no shows.
Air Force, they do a good job though. They're good at what they do. They always want more to do, but they know what their job is, and their job ultimately is to move stuff. They're great at that. No military in the world moves more stuff than we do.
Agreed.
And between our ships in the Navy and our planes in the air, my goodness, like we can put any supply anywhere in the world fast. And now with drone capability, we used to get provisioned by a drone that would drop pallets out of the back of it.
Right.
And we were way out deep in the mountains of Afghanistan. We would get these just everything, fuel, food, a pancake wrapped around sausage for breakfast.
What?
It would just fall out of the sky,
Frankly, I'm surprised that, some of the people that do kind of like a one-off and like leave.
Yeah.
I'm surprised a lot of them don't, just pick up a sport at the Division II and Division I level. Like when I got out of the Army, I ended up playing D3 at Hunter College. But I was better than any D3 player.
Right. Well, also you knew how to be a professional at something.
Yes. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
You also can be, while you're doing that, I'll cover for you here. You also can be in things like the choir. If you're a musician, you can be in a variety of professional Army military bands,
Right.
The Marines. I know a guy down in San Diego, down here from us. He was the basically the commander, the head person for the Commandant's Own, and the Commandant has his own little marching band.
Yep.
And that's what their profession was, being in that marching band. And you talk about attention to detail. Like all of the guys in DC, whether you're on the Grave of the Unknown or the Commandant's Own, all of those guys, there is no compromise on the standard. And the standard is not minimum.
No, it isn't.
All, yeah.
Agreed.
And so anybody can take that opportunity to do these extra things. And sometimes you are coaching the softball team. You're not even good at softball, but you're like, I know how to coach softball.
Right. So Chris missed his window. So we're gonna do another boot camp story.
All right.
I got one.
All right.
So I'm in my platoon. I have someone that has to carry the guidon.
Right.
The guidon is the military flag that represents your platoon for people not military. So we got to translate some of this, of course.
Yeah.
So every platoon has like their own flag. It's like a bull, third herd, or hell on wheels or something like that. You know, 5th Corps has their. So what happens is during revelry, when we wake up in the morning, right? We have to bring the flag out, post it, right?
Yeah.
And during retreat, you know, at the end, we bring the flag inside.
Right.
So the guy in my squad, Private Lindsay, left the flag outside.
Oh boy.
And I didn't know. It's raining, right? And someone comes in and they're like, Private DeBiz, Drill Sergeant Howard wants to see you, right? So I'm like, okay. Everyone's like, ooh, right? Because it's never good when a drill sergeant wants to see you, right?
Yeah.
So I go in, I'm like, you know, Private DeBiz reporting his order, and he's like, duh, Bilius, D-U-H Bilius, right? Duh, Bilius, sit down, have a seat, right? And he says, so I sit at the position of attention. I don't know what's up. I'm like this.
Yeah.
Sitting like that, right? And he's just like, relax. So I'm like,
yeah.
Right? So I do something like that. And he's like, I just want to let you know your training is going great.
Yeah.
He says, you're doing great. I said, thank you, Drill Sergeant. And he's like, you got a girlfriend at home? I said, yes, I do. He says, you love her? And at that time, I'm like, yes, I do. He said, you think you're going to marry her? I said, yeah, sure. And he's like, look, just hang in there. You know, you had a rough beginning, but you're doing great. And I really love what's going on. He says, you want some candy? You got a whole candy dish. Wow. And I'm like,
sure.
Yes, right. So gets me all comfortable, right? And he says, so, by the way, where the fuck is the guidon?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is the guidon?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is the guidon? And he yells, so the impact of him yelling fall backwards.
Yeah.
The seat falls this way.
Yeah.
And I do a perfect 360 backward roll, land on my feet, and I'm running out of there.
Yeah.
And you could still hear him. Your ass is grass, son, and I'm going to smoke it. Your ass is grass. So I go outside and it's raining as hell, right?
Yeah.
And I grab the flag. The flag's wet. I'm in my Army grays.
Yeah.
So I'm in this gray outfit, which is cotton.
Right.
So now I'm soaking wet.
Yeah.
Because it's Fort Knox, and when it rains, it rains.
Right.
And I go in there, and the platoon, like the barracks, like all of the double bunk beds are this way. So when I'm at the front entrance, all you could see are like heads just looking at me to see if I'm okay. And I have this flag in my hand. And I said, thanks a lot, dude. Thank you very much. And I just put the flag there, and I'm soaked. I don't get change. I go into bed with my soaked Army grays.
Yes.
And then you can hear like one guy laughing. Then you can hear a second guy laughing. Like now everybody's laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay. So that was my boot camp stories. We have 5 minutes, and we're approaching Steve Cahn.
Yeah.
Chris Sanchez, I don't know where you disappeared to, but tell you what, the Army and the Air Force ain't doing that well right now.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, that's a funny, there's all these little jobs. I went to, it's not basic training, but I was at an armorer school.
Right.
And again, I don't know anything about being in the military. Matter of fact, they took our guidon away. At one point, they wrapped up in rubber band. I don't even know that matters. Like, I don't even care. They hadn't even said, you guys are so embarrassing, we took away your flag. I don't even know. So I'm just like, whatever, I don't know. They'll tell me if it matters, and it didn't matter to me, Right. But so I go to armorer school to learn how to take apart weapons and try to fix them and everything. And it wasn't my profession, but it was like a part-time job. And they told me that I had to do reveille and retreat or whatever on Saturday. And I'm like, yeah,
sure.
Like I always do. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You're talking about the American flag, right?
Yeah.
Put it up, bring it down. Got you.
But I didn't know they actually meant to show up to do the detail. So, like there was the detail that goes, and it's everybody who doesn't know, there are people that stand at the flagpole and take it down and put it up every day. And there's a whole ceremony around that. So I was detailed to do that assignment. And so the person told me in military words that was my job, but I thought he meant like, yeah, every day you guys play reveille and retreat, and I stand there and I salute if I'm outside. That's what I thought he meant.
Right.
And so I didn't show because I didn't know I was supposed to show anywhere. And then he's like, I have to counsel you because you didn't go and do your detail. And I'm like, I didn't know what you're even talking about. And he's like, you were supposed to be there as part of the flag detail.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, yeah, you have to go out and do that. And I'm like, you told me. I thought you meant I had to stand in the position of attention when you guys played Reveille and Retreat. And he's like, no. Yeah, exactly. That's all. So even though you get to basic, you still don't know anything about the Army in a lot of cases. No. I didn't. I never would have skipped that. But I literally thought like, oh, and then I kind of thought he was putting me on at first. I'm like, are you putting me on? Are you messing with me like that? Because the law that I broke was failure to repair. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'm like, are you kidding? Is this a real thing? And he's like, this is a real thing. And I'm like, I believe you. I don't know what you're talking about, And so this guy's like, what kind of retard are you? And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know about the Army. I'm new around here, Yeah. And he's like, all right, it's no big deal. We covered it. But I literally had no idea. And so the lesson there was one, like when they tell you have to do something, they're not joking.
Right.
Like I thought the guy was fucking with me, And then the other thing was ask. If you don't know, ask what the hell you're talking about. What do you mean I have to go to, the flag detail or whatever it was? Because I'd never heard of that. Never had to do it. Never been exposed to it. So of course I wouldn't know, right?
Right.
It's not in the simple book.
No, it's not anywhere.
Right. And it wasn't like I had a sergeant around that knew me or anything. I was just a student. So I'm like, why would a student go outside and put a flag up and down? Like, why? I'm here to learn about these weapons. And it was just like, never occurred to me that I would have some secondary job when I'm doing a school for a secondary, it's all crazy.
That's wild. And the cool thing is like the reason for Revelry and Retreat, I think the reason why they even have 4 people is in case someone messes up. We really only need 2 to do this.
Yeah,
but
really
2. In case one of you guys gets stupid, Yeah. And the cool thing about we'll get into it after it. I want to call. I'll get Steve Cahn on the phone, aka the Matsa.
The Matsa.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He is a staple in the beach volleyball world, and he is beloved, and we are going to call him now. All right. What's up, Steve? I am. Sorry, I'm going to put you on speaker.
I am here.
What's up, Marine?
Very good. Semper Fi, thank you. Hope you're having a healthy holiday.
Thank you very much. So we have on our guest list, we have 2 Marines, 1 Air Force guy, and 1 Army. And so far, the only ones that have showed up on time are the Marines.
Whoa. You mean you have no anchor clankers?
No anchor clankers.
Yeah.
No Navy guys. Yeah.
And hit me on the head because this part I forgot. The Marine Corps in '69 was my first time that I basically got to meet black people.
Isn't that something?
Never had them in school growing up here. So remind me of the word. I think it was called split, PLIB or something like that.
What is
that word that they called black people way back then?
The drill instructors use the term split, and I'm almost glad no one remembers that.
Yeah.
but you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was referring to blacks, right?
I believe so. But you're talking like wow.
Way back.
This is why we got him on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's a term that I haven't heard.
I've never heard.
I've only heard in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
well,
Steve.
1969. They come older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Come older than me.
So is that your military story? You're like the first black person you ever met was in the Marines?
Well, no. No, there was a few scattered out.
Okay.
In high school and junior high school, but growing up here, no. So, that was my first basically, and and all of us service people do remember our military number.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And then never mind the social security number or the driver's license number, but you do remember your military number. Yeah.
Well, by the time I was in, it was all the social.
Yeah. So Steve, what happened after you left? They would take your military ID and just make it. They would match it with your social security number. So your military ID changed into your social, but This is how far back Steve goes.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I'm so glad you're on the podcast.
Whoa. So today, it's your social security number, it's your military ID?
Yeah, your social.
And it has been for decades.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's a testament how far back.
Yeah.
I'm very proud that I was not a non-hacker.
There you go.
And I did avoid. I had 0 blanket parties.
Attaboy.
And yep, hard to believe. Being the weakest link in the fence. I basically was not touched by the drill instructors or DIs. Others were.
Right.
And Full Metal Jacket is my favorite movie. The first half only. The first half
we can loop. We can watch that over and over. Good. You're right.
I do not watch the second half. There's no need. And
that was our lunchtime.
That's true of Heartbreak Ridge too, though, right?
Steve, when I was in the Army, during our lunch hour, they would give us an hour and a half for lunch. We would have lunch and go back to one of our rooms in the barracks and watch Full Metal Jacket for lunch. The first half.
That's funny.
Because our favorite part is 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Like the first half is 50 minutes or something like that.
Yep.
I think that's true for Heartbreak Ridge too.
Yeah.
Like, once they go to Grenada, it's not as good.
Yes.
Yep.
How Gunny Sargent, whatever he was there.
Highway.
Yeah. So we go from Hartman to Highway.
I'm listening to you, sir. Yes.
Steve, where did you do boot camp on the island?
Camp Pendleton.
Camp Pendleton.
Another one, MCRD.
That's right. Another. Cool.
Good old Mount Mother. And not knowing when you had those forced marches, at that time, I started off always in the rear, but looking back, you end up running the whole time then.
Yeah.
And I guess looking back, it's a lot easier when you're in that first row. And
here.
But I would always eat the sea rats before we went on a hike. the lima beans and whatever, you learn to like that.
Yes, you do. Yeah. What we were saying is make sure you don't eat the chili and macaroni and cheese.
No, they didn't have that then.
Because what they would do, that would get you to throw up. That's just the rib that the drill sergeants would pull on you because they enjoy watching people throw up in the middle of the run. Or like you said, the hike was like a range walk because it turns into a run, right? Because you're what we call range walking for the civilians. So everybody understands what Steve is saying. You walk at this really, really fast pace where it's basically, if you can't walk at the fast pace, you're running.
Right. Yeah. It's
you're
just short of running. Yeah.
Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
I was what they call a fat body, and I'm very proud of losing to 56 pounds in 9 weeks and 4 days.
Damn.
Hey, man.
And at that time, I was paying for, those little jellies that they have, those little containers about 1 inch from the jellies that they have in restaurants still today. I was paying for that like I pay for partners today.
Nice. Yeah. Actually, I want to, we have about 10 minutes, but I wanted to ask you a question, and Pete will get the next question. Was there something valuable in boot camp? And I asked Steve Devlin. Steve Devlin was on just before you were. Is there something in boot camp that you think should be valuable for every young man where everyone should serve boot camp? Like, is there one thing you get out of boot camp that you think every like 18-year-old should learn? Like for me, making your bed in the morning, like the value of just committing, doing the first task of the day. That was important to me. So the floor is yours, Steve.
Absolutely. The hospital fold on the bed. that I'm okay with that. Respect. Having German parents. Even growing up a kid in those times in the 60s and 70s, always called my date's parents Mr. and Mrs. And as well as my fiancés would be calling my mom and dad Mr. and Mrs. also, no first name basis. But nope, the word discipline.
Amen.
That's what we're missing today.
Pete, you got a question for Matsa?
Well, I wanted to say, the same thing. We've kind of talked about this, making your bed, all these things that you're doing. Yeah, when you were going through basic, what was the tempo? They always start that rumor of, all right, looks like you guys are going to have to deploy straight to war. And you're like, there's not even a war going on. But in your time, there was a war going on. So what was the temperature like for having to go straight from boot to combat?
Well, you don't want to get yourself or anyone else killed.
Okay.
It was wonderful how they tore everyone down to be equals. No matter where your education was, there's the right way, there's the wrong way, and there's the Marine Corps way. And that I learned. We're all equals. We're all equals.
Amen.
Was there a rumor that you guys were going to deploy, like mid training? Okay.
Looking back, I was part of the West LA draft board where everyone was going to UCLA and having all these, whatever they call it. So they didn't have to go. They had all the student
deferment
numbers.
Right.
I was number 171. So I probably would not have been drafted, but did not know that going in.
Right.
And, my mail came and, where's my 18-year-old? That's what the DI said.
Right.
And, not too many Jews who are in the Marines.
That is so drill sergeant D.
Looking back, our councilman at that time in West LA was Ed Edelman, who was a longtime councilman in LA, and he wrote a very nice letter to get me out of there eventually.
Right.
On the weekends as a Marine, you still had to take your sideburns up and have a wonderful haircut.
Yeah, the last thing you need is having a drill sergeant say, "Hell, Elvis, I thought you were dead. Shave them, save them sideburns."
Exactly.
Hey,
Nope.
hey, Steve. Steve, back then when there was a draft, if you had joined instead of getting drafted, did you have the option to choose your occupational specialty?
No, I was a machine gunner.
Okay.
3100, I believe, or whatever grunt was, and then I became a machine gunner. It was a good time. Looking back, it was a good time.
Yep.
And we had women Marines, and it was a good time. And it's my flag, it's my country, it's our flag, it's our country. And, that's not going to change for as long as I'm here.
Yeah. Amen and amen. Right. Steve, I'm going to let Pete send off, but I just wanted to say that I'm really, really glad to have you on to talk about this. And the only regret is we only have you on for 15 minutes, Pete?
No, thanks a lot. I appreciate everything. And just to get that older perspective, it's just amazing to hear discipline. It's still 60, 50, whatever years later, all that stuff matters still,
It really does.
I dig it. So thank you for your service, man.
Yeah, and Steve, also thank you for being
very much.
Steve, also thank you for being one of my mentors, because when I moved here in 2016, to pursue volleyball coaching and commentary, you were always one of the people that were in my corner and said, "Hey, okay, obviously you don't know this, you're a rookie. It's Rangiri, not Rangiri, right? Or it's this, it's that." And you never, even through my arrogance, you never stopped trying to educate me and trying to say, "Hey, start over, be here, be there." And you will always have my respect for that.
You hit it right on the head. And, I wish all you guys to continued good health and growth.
Yep. And congratulations on taking second at the dyno with Taylor Crabb.
Oh yeah.
I need to do that again.
Yes.
All right, Steve, we're out of here. We're moving on to our Army guy at 12:15. Okay. But thank you for joining us.
Thank you for including me. Stay well and stay healthy, all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Bye-bye. Bye.
What did I tell you?
He's awesome.
What didn't I tell you? He was awesome.
Yeah.
He is. That's Matsa.
That's how we want to be later on, just that calm and clear about everything. I don't know if you got time for it, but I sent you a bad Marine video with the guy named Josue Barone. He's a Southern California guy.
Got you.
And he got his leg blown all the way off in combat, up to the hip. And this guy was out with his Marine buddies, right? This guy has a stick now for a leg. Doesn't really actuate at the knee, right?
Yep.
And so he's got to kind of hick it out with his hip. And he also is missing one eye from the bomb that blew him up.
Right.
And so he's got a globe and anchor for an eyeball. That's as Marine as you get. Get. They go out to a place called First Sergeant's Hill, all his buddies. And First Sergeant Hill, that's not a gentle thing.
No.
That's going to be a problem. And so they start going up it. And he's like, I'm going to go up that hill. Mm-hmm. And but he only has one knee. Right? Like he doesn't even have another leg. And so he's going. And soon he loses the prosthetic and starts like hopping. And all his buddies slow down because, weakest link, right? And he's not weak, but like this is the speed we're going to go up the hill. And he's going. And he gets down to the point where he's crawling on his like a tripod, just one leg and his fists to get up First Sergeant Hill. And then he gets to the top. Oh my gosh, I always get emotional when I think about this. And he looks up and all you see is that globe and anchor in his eye.
Yeah,
it's the greatest Marine commercial ever. So if you want to show,
you sent me the link.
I did. Yeah, it's in your. Cool. It's in your. Facebook.
Yeah, well, definitely. We got Ken Bassarath coming on in 60 seconds. I want to show that clip, and I also want to extend an olive branch to Chris Sanchez.
Yeah, of course.
One last chance to come on or whatever, right? Because we're here and we're enjoying ourselves, but I'm trying to respect your time too. We ain't got all day, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to call my friend Ken Bassarath.
All right.
And let's see if he breaks the Army mold.
I got a point. The Army started out the day well. We did,
early. Yes. You were here an hour early. I was set up an hour early.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Ken Bassarath. What's up, my man?
How you doing, my guy?
You're on live, and congratulations. Like me, my co-host, Pete Turner's Army. I'm Army.
How you doing?
And of course, we're here early. All the Marines came on time, and I'm like, will there be another guy outside of the Marines that picks up on time? And it's you, my man.
Yeah.
Contrary to a popular belief, I'm always late. But
That's true.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Hey,
I make time for work counts, man.
So just for video purposes, just say name and branch.
Kenneth Bassarath, Army.
There you go.
Army, yeah.
So
Active National Guard and Reserve, all three.
So we, I want to start. Pete's got some questions, but I want to start with the same question I asked like the other people that called in. So Kenny, we all go through boot camp, right? Mm-hmm. Is there something? All right, Chris is on standby. Good, Chris, you're on standby. I got Ken Bassarath, so you got to hang out for 15 minutes. So Kenny, is there something where you think that you learned in boot camp? You're like everybody my age. I'm 18 years old. I'm 19. Everybody my age should go to boot camp because of this. So what would this be?
I mean, for the most part, I would say people were just trying to find themselves. It was like a stop that you made in life when you're a teen and you're kind of confused of where you should go, and you need guidance. You also need some kind of discipline, and people are pushing you in that direction because back in the days, joining the military meant that you would get discipline, and at worst case scenario, you get a trade. So. Most of the kids that were there when I was there, they were just trying to find themselves, man, looking for some kind of stability, trying to find somebody either that could guide them or, find themselves. So I would say that would be the defining factor for everyone.
Right.
Aside from others, obviously joining for money or maybe because of legacy reasons, your parents or your grandparents were in the military. But for the most part, I would say it's just finding out who you are and what you're capable of. And the military has a way of doing that, especially boot camp, pushing you to the limits.
That's a great answer, especially for New Yorkers, right? Like we were taught, some kind of way out, some kind of learn a discipline, learn this. That's a terrific answer. Pete's got a question for you.
When you were at basic, it always comes a time where you start to actually realize you are a unit now. You're not about yourselves. You've done push-ups for everybody else, and there comes a time just when you guys gel. Do you remember when that time was, or what do you think back to that time when you kind of figured it out? Obviously you're going to graduate, but when you got what the drill sergeants were given.
I get you. That's a great question. So I went to Fort Jackson initially, right? And I was a holdover. There wasn't enough space. I ended up going to fat camp too because I never had any upper body strength. So by the time they passed me through after 2 weeks, they sent me to Fort Sill. And Fort Sill, the first day that we get there. Now this is 2 weeks of me talking and hanging out with the boys and the girls because we were co-ed at that time. And in Fort Jackson, you could have a barracks with male and female, no problem. When we got to Fort Sill, however, it was a different story. And they put me in Bravo Company, which is all male, all the girls that we came up with on the other side. And the first lesson was, I don't know if you guys went through this too, but they put out all your stuff that you get on the floor and you're supposed to pack it a certain way. And they had 62, well, at least in my platoon, there was 62, but there's 4 more platoons. So it's about, roughly 300 plus.
Right.
And we're all scrambling to get our stuff together. And every time they blew the whistle and they checked us, if something was off, they tossed it. I mean, they threw everything all over the place. And we had the same amount of time to get it back together.
Make sure everything's there.
Yeah, dude. So this happened for 3 hours. Mind you, we spent the whole day gathering our stuff, making lines, getting immunization shots, cutting our hair. So by the time we got there, it was about 11 p.m. And we stayed initially 3 more hours just doing this, packing up. And I realized the lesson that they wanted us to learn was you're really only as strong as your weakest link. And when you are in a platoon and you are family, you have to look out for each other. So so what? So I made my pile completely perfect. What about my battle buddy? What about the guy down there who's not as fast or who's nervous? So we started looking out for each other. And I realized that right that first day, oh, you know what? This is what it is. We need to look out for each other, no matter what our differences are, our race. Because it was a melting pot in Fort Sill. It was literally people who've never seen people of color and people of color who've never seen white people.
Fort Sill, crazy. Right?
Yeah.
Fort Sill.
Woo!
Oklahoma,
yeah.
Where it was hot as in the during the day and cold as.
Yeah.
Excuse, I don't know if I could curse, but
you can,
in the morning, it's just crazy cold.
Yeah.
So we all had to get on the same bus, man. And I realized, okay, you know what? These are my brothers right here. And it took other guys a little longer to understand that. But our drill sergeant was really good about that, about drilling us and getting to have each other's back. So I was lucky. That I understood. I got my crew at the beginning, and we kind of really stuck together. We did mischief together, but we also had each other's back. We weren't, snitching on each other either. There was a brotherhood there.
Yeah. Go ahead, Pete.
No, I was just going to say all that. Like, you are in it together, and there are so many opportunities. Like, when you all get on the cattle car, if you did a cattle car, you jam yourself into the smallest space. There's plenty of space for everybody, but not in this case. And when you're freezing cold on a range and the weather has changed, because Fort Sill, Midwest, the weather changes on a dime. You just get into a giant pod and you just get each other warm, and you go from the middle of the pod to the out. I mean, you're forced to deal with these problems that you can't have someone sitting outside the circle. Everybody's got to be looked after.
Yeah, and Kenny, the only thing better than that question was your answer, because
so good.
Because outside of the military, right, when people think of Army or Marines or whatever, they think military aggression, and that's usually associated with every man for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. That's usually associated with like that level of social Darwinism, pull yourself by your own bootstraps and all that stuff. And then the military, don't get me wrong, that's included, but included but not limited to that. Right. But you just answered in a dynamic to make people understand that, hey, like can we do this by ourselves? Question of fact. Can we do this as a team? 100% every time, 100 out of 100 times. That was a great, wow. That was a great nugget, man. And now you got to give us more. Do you have a fun boot camp story, or do you have like a rib or like a prank that was pulled against you or on you? You came in late, so we already set a standard, but I got you anchoring this because I knew you'd have a good one.
I'll tell you one. I mean, I think I'm pretty sure I've been through everything that everybody else has been through in boot camp. There's like weird games when you put boys together and there's no girls. They borderline to getting pranked, or to someone catching crabs and giving half of the platoon the itches, or it's us. Even my battle buddy tried to commit suicide because he was fed up with it. But there was everything and anything in that 2-month space of boot camp. I got it. I mean, even like using the drill sergeant's phone when he wasn't around, and calling our loved ones and our girlfriends.
You guys were on the edge. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there was even a code red at some point. We had to, put a little discipline in one of our guys.
Yes.
Out of everything that sticks out to me personally was the fact that my drill sergeant found out that I was constipated.
Oh,
because my body shuts down when I'm away from from my home, and it happens to a lot of campers. And so I don't know this. First 2 weeks, I'm not going to the bathroom. Found out, and the next thing you know, the whole company, well, no, actually not the whole company, the whole platoon, 62 guys, are doing sit-ups and burpees left and right. And I don't know why. He's having me doing. He's yelling at everybody, but he's really focusing on me, but I'm oblivious, and I'm just doing them. And after a while, I'm like, oh my God, my stomach, right? So I get up and I tell the drill sergeant I have to leave. While I'm leaving, they all start applauding and cheering. And I'm like, what the is happening? But I can't stop. I just get to the bathroom and I come back, and of course they're all, yeah, let's go, Bassarath. And I'm like, oh my God, who told you guys? Well, yeah, my battle buddy.
Your battle
hilarious.
buddy. What kind of gangster move? I'm asking this for Pete too.
Yeah.
What kind of a gangster move was it to grab the drill sergeant's phone?
I know, that's crazy.
Kenny, picture this. I want you to, because you're my friend too, okay?
Yeah.
You calling your girlfriend, right? And before you get off the phone, you got to say, you're not stupid enough to call me back on this, right?
Yeah, well, that's a good thing, right? So the drill sergeant, his quarters was what we used when everybody left. You have fire guards who have to watch everybody. But if you're popular, you're one of the guys, they'll let you go in, or if you're the fire guard yourself, you can just go in and not have to worry about anybody watching you. Now you have to press 0 and you have to do a series of codes to get out, and we knew them. So even if they called back, we weren't going to get in trouble.
I see.
But obviously we did tell them, hey, do not try to contact me, because then they're going to definitely find out who it was on process of elimination. But no, we did it almost every night until Blue Phase, where we had the freedom to use the phone whenever we wanted to during the day. But it was
cool.
It was crazy. It was fun.
That's fun.
So Chris Sanchez, I know you're with us. We're gonna start you at 12:30 because I want to we're having a little bit of fun with Kenny, and we still got some time with our guys. So you did AIT at Fort Sill?
No, that was boot camp.
Okay. So AIT was Jackson?
AIT. See, I was going to go to Fort Jackson for boot camp, but because I was a holdover,
got to
they sent me to Fort
right.
Sill.
Gotcha.
Then I went to AIT because Fort Huachuca wasn't available for me at that time, so they switched my MLS to transportation management, which you could only do in Virginia.
Right.
So I went to Fort Sill. I got an injury because of a negligent. I don't know, not a negligent drill sergeant. The drill sergeant was the one who gave me the order to run across the floor, but the floor was wet. It wasn't posted.
Right.
And I fell. They took me to the hospital, and instead of checking out my knee, they found out that I had ingrown toenails because of the narrow boots. And for the next 2 months in AIT, I was called Big Toe by a drill sergeant who looked like Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Lawrence Fishburne should have played a drill sergeant though. But go ahead. Wow.
He looked just like this guy, and he was southern. So he would see me across the company, and he would just yell out, "Big Toe!" And everybody knew who it was. I would have to run to him, and it was crazy. I never got let out either because I was on medical leave, quote unquote, on medical. What is that called?
Profile.
Yeah, profile.
Yeah, profile. So it was like, all right, you know what? I'll deal with it. But got a lot of shit in AIT. But I realized how lenient it was because compared to boot camp, it was nothing.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we had all these standards in boot camp, and everybody was gung ho. And then you get the AIT, and it's like, well,
yeah, you're like, wow, I'm on a base with like all 4 branches,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and they still might PT you to death because the push-up standards, you know, and like the 2-mile run, I think
You still got to pass a PT test to get out of there.
Yeah, because like boot camp was 50 points to pass, and AIT
Right.
was 60 points, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think by the time you got to AIT, you're like, all right, this is something I got to do, but I'm here to learn about my occupational specialty. So, totally get that. You went to Eustis, Virginia?
For Eustis, yeah.
Yeah, I went to Belvoir, so I was, you know, it's wild. Like I was more closer to DC than I was Eustis, but it's cool to have some, you know, Virginia people. Would you do AIT?
Huachuca. That's the spot school.
Nice. So, wow, I got an ESPN update. Why? Because Kenny, the super athlete, is on my show. So, Kenny, we got about 1 minute left. We got an olive branch for our for Mr. Sanchez, and now I gotta edit this video. Right? I was just gonna leave the live version up because everyone's doing so well, but. Peter, you have any send off?
No, man, just thank you for your service. It's an honor meeting you guys, even if it's just via phone. I've been thrilled to do this with you today. Thank you.
Yeah, and between you and Matsa, between you and Matsa, the only regret is we only had 15 minutes. Maybe next year, Veterans Day, maybe Kenny will fly in and try host with me and Pete Turner. I think he'd like that.
There you go.
Kenny didn't think it'd be this fun.
See?
No, this is awesome, man. Thanks for having me. And you know, this is the perfect interview because I got to catch a train to get to the city and do my PT. So
I like it. Hey, good for you and good for you and good for me.
Yeah.
Hey, when you watch the video later, I got a picture of you. You're gonna laugh. You are gonna crack up when you see the picture I got that I put up, like that I green screen for you. You're gonna be like, really, that one? All right, peace out.
Expect nothing less from you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Later.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
All right, guys. That was Ken Bassarath. Waiting in the wings, I got Chris Sanchez, a.k.a. Manchez. Chris, you can come on now. I want to check your sound.
Yeah.
Hey, what's good? What's good?
Oh, wow. Isn't that beautiful?
Sounds perfect.
Doesn't that sound beautiful? So, Chris, I don't actually have you pictured. I have the audio version.
Okay.
So don't worry about what you look like. Hold on. You got your
You
dog
look
with
great.
you?
You
Is
look
your dog
great.
with you?
Letting the hair grow.
You know what? I got to show a picture of this. Now I got to show a picture of this. You know what? Come on, man. Hold on. I'm going to go to a picture, then I'm going to go back to sound because we got to see how beautiful this guy's hair looks. It's right there. There he is. There's Chris. There's Sanchez. Cool, man. All right, I got you. So now we're back to sound. And Chris.
Thanks for having me today, and happy Veterans Day and all.
Here's a cool thing.
Thank
you for this special.
Here's the cool thing. You already know like half of the guests that are on. You know Kenny well. You've met Matsa, Steve Cahn.
Yep.
So we're gonna start. Pete has a question for you, but we're gonna start the same way we start every guest. Name and branch.
Christopher Sanchez, U.S. Air Force.
All right, get a nice picture of him. There we go. I got a nice green screen shot. He looked like a model. Actually.
Handsome devil.
Yeah, he is. I guess that's an Air Force thing, but yeah. So Chris,
Okay.
Pete, you got a question for him? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. We all have inter-service rivalry, and I don't know where Space Force fits in with all this stuff, but where would you rank the Air Force in terms of prestige overall amongst all the 6 services?
I would say
video.
it's the grass, when they say it's greener, the golf course is pretty green on the Air Force side. How about that?
All right. Nice.
Actually, since my green screen stinks, I'm actually going to go to your camera. I'm going to go to your camera. There you go.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Pete. Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, and I was asking him, like we all are trying to rank each other, by service and everything. And I asked him where the Air Force was, and obviously he says Air Force is first. So why did you choose the Air Force? Obviously you made a great choice, great service, but why did you go that route as opposed to any Coast Guard or anything else?
Honestly, it was Mom's choice in a lot of ways.
Your picture now, Chris.
I created a situation, I guess, for myself where I thought, okay, I need to be a little more disciplined. I had done a year of college. In certain ways, I had already been abroad and lived elsewhere, my mom thought this will be something to really be a career stepping stone for you. And I saw that her insight was pretty good. I wanted to make her proud as well. So going in, it's really about your scores on the ASVAB. And
Yes.
Originally I had taken a fake language test, and I was going to be working in intelligence, studying a language in Monterey, listening to conversations and stuff like that. However, I admitted to smoking some pot in high school, and they're like, we can't give you top secret. So we're going to give you 3 other options.
He did all that because he's high.
So they ended up giving me the options of, I thought meteorologist would be a great choice. My other option was visual information, which is more like graphics design and audiovisual. And then the third one was, I chose SEERS, which is the Special Forces of the Air Force. It's search, evasion, rescue, escape. So if a pilot, for instance, gets shot down in Bosnia back in the day, then they know how to navigate out and also evade and be rescued and escape.
Cool.
But I ended up getting choice number 2 of those 3. Yeah. So while I was in basic, they're like, okay, you don't have to stay if you don't want to, but like you came in on a guaranteed job. And that was very much the pull for the Air Force, was the guaranteed job, that I would be trained in something I could use when I came out of the Air Force. And to some degree, I've definitely used graphics design, and audiovisual is what I do now for events here in New York. So it definitely tuned into a future outlook that paid off.
Yeah. Actually, we're going back to audio because your green screen is not doing justice to your beautiful hair. So, and for some reason, my green screen cut off the top of your hair, but let's go back to that. So, Chris, actually, we have someone in the comments section. A Marine wants to know if the Air Force understands there is no such thing as being on time. You're early or you're late.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be there at least 5 minutes early to be on time. So and so on time. There's no really on time. It's true. It's bipolar. It's either all or nothing in some ways. Yeah. So, anything more specific, let me know. I'm happy to tackle it.
No, definitely. Chris, you I'm sure at some point in your military career you've been to either Rhein, Main, or Ramstein Air Base, right?
I was in Germany for 2 years. I was in Spangdahlem. It's a tiny base north of Ramstein, about an hour north of Landstuhl for all the Army guys who were in Germany. Yep. Landstuhl's the medical kind of place to go if you didn't have good hospice care. When you were in the Middle East, then you got flown out to Landstuhl, and a lot of the time in Spangdahlem was things like combined endeavor and projects, which were multi-militaries, all different militaries from all over the world collaborating on projects together. And being on the media communication side of things, that was very much my realm during those 2 years.
Go ahead, Pete.
No, that's a we think about PowerPoint and how we communicate in that way, but your guys' job, even before PowerPoint, was to become PowerPoint. And that communication piece is huge because the boss has a specific intention that they're trying to get across, and you've got to translate that into something that won't put them in a rage, but also communicate the idea. I've seen that stuff, especially when it's international. That's not a straightforward job, and it's an art within the art to communicate with that. I dig that. When did you realize you had a knack for it?
Never.
Okay. That's great.
I mean, I didn't understand why they even thought I would be a good fit for the job. I had done one course and I didn't get like an A in it or anything for website design. And that was enough that I had taken already a college course for website design while I was at University of San Francisco. And they thought, okay, he'll be great for graphics design. We need somebody who has some idea how to use a computer and design a website. That'll be the person we use. So I guess that's what made it fit, and the ASVAB score sometimes they say is part of it. But yeah, I honestly never thought I could even draw a stick figure before I got in. So I was like, I don't know what you think I can do.
Hey, Chris, in regards to the ASVAB, and try to refresh my memory, was it an Air Force recruiter that got you to take the ASVAB exam?
No, it was an Air Force recruiter who sent me to the MEPS, to the to the processing.
Right.
So really, at the processing was where the ASVAB tests took place.
Do Air Force people see the scores and try to steal them from the other branches?
Neither here nor I have no idea on that one.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to remember because before you came on, I was talking about I was originally supposed to go to the Marines, and somehow the Army, I guess they were around, and my mom thought that they were the Marines and thought that they were looking for me because she had no idea about the Army and Marines, and they got a lot of information from her and basically stole me from the Marines, So that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete.
Um,
I see Pete's wheels turning.
No, it's a funny thing when you get to MEPS and everybody has like their sheet. If you don't know anything, you don't know what your scores are, if they're good or not, And so people will be showing their scores, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm not going to stop showing mine around because mine are too high. And people feel bad. This one guy's like kept bugging me, like, I want to see your score. And I'm like, you're welcome to look at it. But if you have high scores, and then you see the guy's face, like, no, and then you find out their job is going to be something that's a simple job.
Yeah.
And so it's a funny thing about these scores. People hold on to them pretty tight, and they either brag about them if they got high ones, or they just kind of shut up about them. And so, did you find that people in the Air Force, same kind of thing, where they were hyping up scores or obscuring them depending on how they did on that test?
He's like, nope.
I guess I'm my mother's son on that one. She's a mind your own business kind of person.
Right.
Like, I didn't try to mine information out of anybody. I didn't ask questions about theirs. I didn't really talk about mine. I changed the subject if it was possible.
Right.
So I was more deflective. I thought, I can pick up on what I think of people better just having conversations or seeing how they are when it comes to the work and the processes that we do.
Did you ever take the D-Lab, or did you not get to that step?
Yes, I did.
How crazy was that test?
I love it because I didn't even know when the test started. I think I was on question 4 when I realized,
we're doing it.
He said question 4. I should be filling out answers right now.
I think unsettling.
At that point, I was just trying to pick up whatever that fake language was.
Yeah.
And then I realized, they're conjugating. They're asking me for the conjugation.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do this. I've been taking languages. I had just lived in Italy and in Guatemala and El Salvador in the 2 of the 3 years prior joining. So I was like, I'm gonna have some fun with this. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I had no idea if I was doing well when I took that test. I just
can't know. Yeah. It's the craziest test. When they did that, so everybody while listening and watching, they do a thing where they give you a 5-syllable word. The word is basically gibberish, but it's all sounds that you're used to. And so I would hold my hand out and I would listen for the accented syllable because that's what they wanted to know. But oh my gosh, you could barely remember the word. Your brain was so scrambled. It was a crazy. And like you said, they teach you a foreign language. The verb modifies the noun. The adverb always goes in front of the verb. And so you're like, wait, what? And if you missed one step in that, that whole section, you were just cooked. It's not an impossible test, but it definitely is. It is confusing if you fall behind.
I think I zoned out at the beginning.
Oh no!
And so I had to coach my own anxiety of like, I'm this deep in the test, and okay. That scramble that you're talking about, I was like, don't let your brain get scrambled. Just understand that you understand absolutely nothing, and it'll be okay. I felt like I was in my, like, if I was a pilot, like a pilot voice, like clear skies and everything's going to be all right.
Totally.
That awesome. Just kind of got me back into it. I didn't have the highest D-Lab score, but I had the mark perfectly to be right in there. So ended up doing well on that.
Yeah, Chris, I don't know. I don't mean to sound, oh geez. I got to go back. Yeah, I lost the live stream and I'm trying to reconnect it. It doesn't matter because we have a file that's catching all of this anyway. So in case the world goes to hell, you've been in studio before too, so you know how this kind of looks, right? Chris, I asked Kenny this and I asked Matsa this. In boot camp or in AIT, is there something that you learned there that's valuable to a point where you're like, you know what? I think every 18-year-old and every 19-year-old should know this, right? Every 18-year-old, every 19-year-old should learn this. So,
I joined when I was 21, so
yeah.
I felt like I kind of already knew myself better than some of the younger guys.
Yeah.
I had, like, at the end of high school, been this kid who still tried to prove that he was from New York, because I had finished my last 2 years of high school outside of New York. So being in Connecticut for boarding school and then being in Italy for boarding school, in a Canadian school in Italy, mind you, I had already been in an adaptive situation. And the way that I thought that kind of continued my own story, and to relate to what you're asking about what basic gives you, knowing that it's a game in a way and playing the game well, I think your pragmatism really came out. I was happy to step in certain shoes where I had to represent my flight before the flight even knew what it was about. And for those who don't know what a flight is, it's a squadron, it's a group, it's, we call them flights in the Air Force. So our 60 guys, we had to be cohesive, and my job was chow runner. And that means I report for everybody to eat. I f up everybody eats later. And I got 59 grumpy faces if I don't do it right. That means 90-degree angle facing movements. That means not looking the 5 drill instructors at the lunch table in the eye like a statue, perfect statue, until they ask you whatever they're going to ask you, with or without an attitude. You have no idea what you're going to get. But just to be prepared to pivot on a dime and to play the game, to make sure you have your uniform looking good, ask for help when sometimes you're like, I got to get out this door too fast to even know what my uniform looks like. Asking one of your fellow members, like, look at me, check, am I good? Am I good? Check the perimeter, like meaning check my uniform, make sure I'm good because I'm going to represent us. Bye. And then there would be chuckles. They'd be like, Robo Chow Runner, go.
Yeah.
And they knew that when it was time, when I held the call, I put on my Terminator face and I went at it. I think that kind of determination was something that I carried in because I also wanted to set example for these young kids. Like being 21, I was older, 2 years older than the average. I felt I could sense it. I was like, I'll step up to these guys. I was still growing at the time, so I was a small guy, but I felt like, for instance, we had a female drill instructor about 5'4", and she was more intimidating than our 6'2" male drill instructor.
Isn't that
and
wild?
It was all about gravitas. So I try to carry it with me, carry the flight on my shoulders when it came just to, this is my moment to do what I need to do. And then the rest of the playing the game, the attention somewhere else. This is my time to just have the attention and no longer have the attention, because I get to eat longer than everybody else. And I was one of those people that always ate slow. So I was grateful that actually was my position. To get in there first and leave last.
That's cool, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. I loved it.
I got to say that I love hanging out in the Air Force base more than the Army bases. The first beach volleyball game I ever played was on an Air Force base. They had sand courts. The Army base did not. If you remember Rhymine and Ramstein, they had bowling alleys. They had movie theaters. I think Abrams Complex in Frankfurt closed. So anyone that needed any form of entertainment, and at the same time safety, because look, Germany had some great house music clubs, right? But some people that wanted to stay on base, you would go to one of the air bases, or Darmstadt had a club, and Chris loves the dance. Chris loves the dance. I know he knows what I'm
being at one
about.
of the smaller bases, the university town Trier was one of the closer ones, and then Luxembourg, being a different country, a very small one but very close enough, was another place to go see movies in English instead of dubbed in German.
Right.
So those were fun options for going out and doing things. And I certainly found that being off base for when you're on a small base was more the vibe. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Ramstein seemed like an American getaway within Germany when I stopped in.
It's like a vacation.
for like a week. I had like a week TDY down there, some training and stuff. And I'm like, okay, Ramstein's some stuff. And I saw Robin Williams down there, doing his tour.
Good morning Vietnam.
I'm like, wow, do you get this like every month? Like Ramstein has a lot over here. I was overwhelmed. I was like, wow. I was like, I'm really in the country now.
Yeah.
This is the city.
Ramstein had great sports facilities too.
They did.
They had softball fields. They took care of folks there.
Yeah, well, that's where I played the Air Force team, the Army and the Air Force team. One of the biggest games are in Ramstein. And Chris, you're right. Like people like, well, I'm taking leave. I'm like, where are you going back to Carolina? It's like I'm going to Ramstein for 7 days. I got a girlfriend there.
I'll say this about like when you're deployed and you go to a dining facility, all the other services when I went to there it's always plastic utensils. Air Force every single time metal. And it was a nice it's a tiny thing, but when you've broke 100 plastic forks, it's just so nice to have a real fork. So I always appreciate that about it was like a thing you look forward to is, oh my God, we get to eat Air Force chow. And it was awesome. So just like those simple things that you guys got make a real difference.
I feel like I overheard someone saying just what you said, when they came to visit before, even though Spangdahlem is not a place they visit very often.
Yeah.
But also, I know that you get more COLA, the cost of living
allowance. Yeah.
The COLA. Yeah. If you're Air Force on an Army post, I remember that was one of the things that people mentioned. And we had I remember I had one TDY and I saw my paycheck. I'm like, oh, that's a little more than usual. They're like, oh yeah, because you were on an Army post for a week. Fortunately, I had I had a community theater, the USAF. You remember USAF?
Yes.
So all of the branches came together, and I competed in a theater show, and it touched a theme too. I had some very openly gay members on my floor, who were very charismatic, and his superior tried to get him fired because of the "don't ask, don't tell" policy, and he'd just say it out loud, like, "I don't care, I'm gay, I don't give." And none of y'all gonna stop me from being me.
There you go.
And I applauded his balls for just being himself. And I'll never forget Airman Greg. But his superior had, you know how rules are tighter, had been renowned for cheating on his wife, and so that was actually punishable. And he had evidence of it, and so something came up, and he ended up getting his supervisor knocked down a rank. Not that I'm trying to say, hey, live it like this, but but it was interesting. My role, I felt really like I was gonna blush, and I tried to turn it back on my own commander. I was playing a gay prep school student for the play,
yeah,
and they're talking about glory, and I didn't even know what that was. Going into the play, but I have to give there was an important monologue in the play, and I just kind of got over my whatever stage fright I had before that. It helped me tackle it, knowing, somewhere in the back of my head, thinking about protocols and hierarchy and all the things, and thinking is this gonna put me in something? And then I was like, nope, it's a play, we're competing, let's do it. I applaud the directors and for them to put faith in me to deliver this message. Let me do it, for Aaron Gregg, for all of those.
Considering the given circumstances, there's a whole lot of bravery on both sides of that.
I mean, there was a lot of bravery all around. That led me to being in Heidelberg for a little bit, and Heidelberg was pretty cool. That's why I was more in the Army, kind of Stuttgart, Heidelberg area a little bit. Pretty cool stuff. It's interesting how your extracurricular stuff, which helps you also come off as a more well-rounded candidate for Airman of the Quarter when they start thinking about what did you do this quarter? What are you playing? Okay, I'm playing on the softball team. You're a PT leader. helping people be fit, after, and you're also doing this theater thing. So, all right, you got 3 marks, 3 reasons we're looking at in terms of why you're going to go up for candidacy. And so you definitely learn your community involvement through that, and you stay active and involved. And I think that's one of the best takeaways I got from the military, is that everybody, has a chance to be part of the community that we all are part of.
Yeah. Well, not to mention your ability to adapt in like every environment. I mean, for anyone that's never met Chris Sanchez, he could have a good time at an insurance seminar, right? He just finds a way.
Oh man.
And Chris, I got Pete got one more question for you, because we're running over, but it was definitely worth the wait. Pete?
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
When you're in a military career, there's all kinds of off ramps and on ramps, where things can work out to your benefit and change things. Is there an outcome where you're like, man, I really wish I would have had the opportunity to do this? Because, there are so many opportunities and so many things that don't work out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that my first thing is, and I ask this back to you rhetorically, perhaps.
Yeah.
How you hear enough rumors or enough things about what's going on currently, the current events of the day, and you think that you're kind of maybe stuck in the news or stuck in what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. While I was in my last kind of year and a half in the Air Force, I was stationed in Alabama. Force shaping was happening, as they called it, which means that a lot of the jobs, including my own job, was getting force shaped out and then changed to security forces. And everything pointed to this being a bad idea anyway, because the government in essence was going to spend more money on a civilian doing jobs that enlisted members were doing. Yeah. And I thought, well, that's such a shame, because the enlisted members are very much engaged in this process. And I feel like we all lean in a little bit more, just because we're literally in the military with the officers that we serve, to help them with their PowerPoints, with their messages. My job was disappearing, which means I couldn't, if I wanted to re-enlist, and it crossed my mind a few times to do maybe another 4 years after my 4. And the fact that it was disappearing was like, no, I guess I'm going to lean towards it. Right. I don't know if that really means like I felt like I missed an opportunity, but I didn't investigate it perhaps more than I could. It was the news of the day was force shaping, and whether it was I couldn't tell if it was overall the beneficial move or not. But as an individual, I would have loved to see, hey, did you still want to be a meteorologist? I wish somebody asked me. I was like, maybe we have a way for you to do that.
Yeah. There's always those things.
In my dream of dreams, I thought that would have been cool to do. Maybe to be on a little bit more some of the technical side. Being on the creative side, you're kind of in this funny little bubble. Although you are a military member, you're not militant in a way. Your schedule is basically a 9 to 5 or a 7 to 4. Yeah. You're kind of a regular office person wearing BDUs and blues on Fridays. And that was the run of things. I had a retired chief and a staff sergeant, which is an E5 in the Air Force, that were my supervisors. They were super relaxed. I definitely had a nice outro with the Air Force work-wise. It would have been nice to know, if there was maybe a pathway that somebody else could say, like, hey, we would like, because a few people mentioned, like, I think you want to re-enlist. Instead of telling me that you think I want to re-enlist, why don't you tell me what pathway maybe I could have that might be a good reason for me to re-enlist? Yeah. So I guess that conversation didn't happen. I felt like I didn't quite have the full closure that I could have had. Sure. If there was a regret, it would have been that. Yeah. But Amen. I still very much enjoyed my years after the first year. I don't think anybody really loves the first year when they're in the training and they're the bottom rung and everything like that. But once you get a rhythm and an understanding of it, if you make it a fit for you, then you definitely can make it a fit for you. And I definitely loved my last 3 of the 4 years I had in the Air Force.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. You become one.
My pleasure.
We had to fulfill our 4 branches, right? We're missing. We had some Marines. We needed our Air Force guys, so it was very, very important that you came on. Pete, any send off?
No, thank you for your service, man. I appreciate you, and it was great hearing from you.
Also, before you go, I want to show you my jacket. Hold on.
All right, he's going to get his jacket. While Chris gets the jacket, while Jason gets the jacket to show Chris, I'll fill some time. There we go. Look at this thing.
Oh, I saw this in the photo.
Look, but check it out. The buttons. It's barely.
I would say button.
It's barely. Oh yeah, top button only. But yeah, just wanted to put it on and show you because I wear this for dinner every Veterans Day, and you know me. I used to be in shape. I got a little fatter, but still fit it, my friend.
Oh, now I'm too close to my own jacket not to try mine on.
Right.
If
You got
can
it.
Spare 30 seconds.
And now, no, we got to go to you now.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
you gotta get that camera going.
Let's go to camera 1.
Okay.
All right, so I'm dragging you over.
All right. We're in the dark for just a moment.
It's all right.
All right.
There we
It's
go.
okay because once we see the light,
Let's
we are
just
good
see
to
the
go,
light
my
here.
friend.
Oh, it's well preserved because it's in plastic.
No.
Oh wow! Let's go full
Still
camera
got
on
the
that. Hold
name
up.
tag.
Let's go full camera on that. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome, Chris.
I think it fits. I'm gonna have to. Ooh, I still got the badges looking shiny.
You should
Oh.
you should just wear it tonight for dinner. You know. I'm not saying go to Applebee's where like vets eat for free or so. I'm just saying like, yeah, wear it to dinner. Yep. Oh, Chris.
Ooh, I'm seeing it has my last rank. It's the E4 as I came out.
Nice. Yeah, that was me too. I was a E4.
Senior airman.
Yep. Yeah, I was
Call
specialist. Yeah. In fact, I think the rank is still on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
specialist.
Oh, it still fits too.
Yeah,
oh,
man.
nice.
Oh, it's fitting.
Oh, I gotta go back. We gotta go back to Chris. Hold up. He just tried it. He broke it out of the dry cleaning for us. We have to go back to the camera. Sanchez did that for us. We're going back.
I'm gonna do the quick fashion show here.
All right. Dude,
All right, to the kitchen. Here we are.
I'm so sorry for Pete, man, because I told him this would only be an hour and a half.
I'm fine. I'm having a great time.
Oh, come on. Let's go, Chris.
Look at this.
Chris gets to see the self shot too.
Okay. Oh, well, this was my first rank. from
Right.
the year of
Okay.
College.
Yep.
Started as an E2.
Look at that. He got like 2 shirts on and
He's
still
getting-
fits the button
He's
down.
getting all efficient. Yeah.
But the dude got like 2 shirts and this still fits. It's not like he needed to lose a shirt to get it to fit.
Yeah. He's not going open Hawaiian shirt style. No, he's going full suitage.
Chris. Wow. Oh my, you handsome fella.
I know. No
As
kidding.
if you weren't handsome enough. This is ridiculous. You're ridiculous, dude. That's beautiful.
You hold it, or just point it right at me. I got some help from a friend. Okay, there we are.
All right. Get at the position
Let's
of attention,
go.
you. That's fantastic.
Wow, Chris. In this term, I salute. I don't
absolutely.
look. I'm saluting on my New
Kaboom.
York brim. Sorry, let me show you my New York brim. I salute
it
you,
is.
my friend. Pete's got one too. You got one?
Yep.
There it is.
Karate chopped.
The karate chop. Chris, thank you. Wow, that was so worth it. The extra time, my friend.
Yeah.
Hey, I speak for Pete and myself. My man, thank you for your service. Thanks for coming on. And can Chris, may this be a yearly tradition for us? Let's make this happen.
Absolutely.
I get you, Kenny.
At the beginning of the conversation next time.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I get you and Kenny in the same studio with Pete. That'd be a great, nice little 4-way. You
Good.
know, I got the bourbon and the vodka. And well, let's talk shop about volleyball later because I know you're doing a mixture of coaching and playing.
Oh yeah.
And you and I all can always, no matter how many years I've coached or no matter how many years you coach, always spit ideas off of each other. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
My
Later.
Thank
Pleasure.
you for having me again. Take care.
And meeting for all. Guys, that was Chris Sanchez.
awesome.
How
That's
about
fun.
that?
Yeah, it was fun, man. It worked. As always, it works out exactly how it's supposed to.
Yeah, because if he wasn't late, we're not doing the Zoom.
Right. Yeah. He was right on time, it turns out.
I'm going to have to edit the hell out of this anyway, man.
Or just leave it how it is.
Because me and Kenny always pop on him, and I don't know if I want to leave that on the whatever. But Melissa, thanks for your service. I am waiting for Poppy today. It's a Canadian thing. Okay. Got you.
All right.
Good. And Melissa, you're going to translate that. Melissa, let's talk later today. I don't mean to be selfish, but I got all this time in the afternoon to like edit, meaning I have to sit and stare at a screen for the export and all that stuff. Yeah. And maybe we could talk a little bit about volleyball and the other. Melissa's a pharmacist. She was on the podcast talking about certain medication. We were talking about foods for ailments. We were also talking about the I don't want to say on YouTube.
Right.
And she went on a carnivore diet and just had this clarity. Like she wasn't foggy anymore. She had like acne. The acne went away. It's just like it just enhanced her quality of life.
Right.
So
amazing.
Yeah. So what do you think, man? We had a great nuanced conversation about the military, but
well, and once you crack open the memory chest, so many things come out. And there was one funny, again, I knew nothing when I went in. And so I learned that when someone in the military says ASAP,
right,
they mean now.
Yes.
ASAP in the real world is like, when you get
whenever you can.
Yeah, right. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And so someone told me ASAP, and I was like, all right. And I didn't do it for hours. I did it, and they're like, why did it take so long? And I'm like, because you said as soon as possible. And
well, I and this is where civilians need to learn this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As soon as possible means when you can possibly do it, not probably do it.
Yeah.
Like if you can do it now instead of this.
Why aren't you done?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Why are you still standing here?
Yeah. Possible versus priority. Are those the conflicting forces?
Yeah. But it's such a weird dynamic because we both know that like there's two different worlds when it comes to those words,
100%.
Yeah. And then if they throw in the F in there, ASAFP, you're like, oh, geez, it's even faster. Like, why am I not done? Why am I not running away from you to get this done immediately? Yeah.
Well, New Yorkers have another term for as soon as possible. We say yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I had to get used to. I don't want to talk about California and New York too much, but like if someone's delivering a washer dryer in New York, they're there. They're on time.
Right.
Here it's like chillax. We'll be there in a minute. It's more laid back, and I had to get used to that because New York, because everyone's on time, you have to be on time. So there's this level of uptightness. Like if someone's late, now I made an effort to be on time. You're not respecting my time. That I had to chillax a little bit because I'm living here now. These people are nuts.
Yeah.
And Chris should know better. He's a New Yorker, right? But he's on Air Force time. I wanted to play the video he gave me. It's a 1-minute clip.
So this is Jose Barone.
Yep.
With his buddies, his Marine buddies, climbing up a steep Marine hill down there in San Diego. And this guy's such a badass, post-combat, losing his leg, losing his eye, that he goes up this steep hill. And watch the determination in this kid's face.
All right, DJ, spin that.
Get it. Come on, almost there. Get it. Almost there. Get that notch, baby. Let's go. Come on, get some. Come on. Come on. Push. Almost there. Come on. Come on, push. Come on, few more steps. Come on, push. Push.
That's his leg that they described.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That almost brought a tear to my eye, dude.
It does to me, too.
That almost brought a tear to my eye. I got to let you talk in a minute, but I wanted to say this. This atmosphere teaches you to push yourself and do things that others say are not possible or not plausible and not sensible and not logical, but at the same time is right. Two, the atmosphere of the teamwork thing that Kenny was talking about before, and Steve Devlin, an Army guy and a Marine, of just everybody rallying around you and wanting this for you. And that second burst of energy that you didn't think you had. It's like Hulk Hogan, right? You know, when Hulk Hogan kicks out and you hit him and he does something we call hulking up, right?
Yeah, he hulks up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me emotional, because somebody cares and somebody wants this for you, and no one touched him. No one helped him up.
Nope.
They're like, you got to do this by yourself because you can. And two, you know, retrospectively, it's like, if I wasn't here, there's some people that would do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
That's a different kind of elite person. But then there are some people they would never do this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah. No, I mean, if he had at any point had said, and that's enough, those guys would have picked him up and put him on their shoulders and carried him the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But they respected him and that journey, that they didn't touch him. You know, and he, by the way, he didn't have to go to the top of that hill.
No.
You know, like, this is something he elected to do, and it was going to be hard. He knew that going in. And you saw, like, he couldn't even bring his leg with him.
Right.
He gave everything to go up there. And that is what, if you choose, that is the adventure you get to have, you know, throughout. And he's not a Marine anymore. Like, he's a civilian, right? Mm-hmm. But that's the determination that's facing you in real life, is that Josue is out there waiting, you know, for a challenge, and he puts that much effort into it. It's remarkable.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to close out, but I think I want to keep this going a little bit.
Okay.
Because in the beginning, I guess my staple and my foundational question was, what's one thing you learned that every 18-year-old should come in and whatever? And one, and I just talked about it, respect for other people's time.
Yeah.
Make an effort to come on time, and maybe be a little tight when people don't respect your time, right?
Yeah.
And then you create this atmosphere of discipline, because discipline starts with coming on time.
Sure.
Like, and that's how I do all my practices. I'm like, look, I don't set a lot of rules. And sometimes I joke around with people, and sometimes I crack the whip. Everyone falls back in line. But some of my full stops are don't come late.
Yeah.
I understand you had something to do. I understand some people hold you up, but there are 11 other kids that have things to do too.
Yeah.
And they're here.
Yeah.
On time.
Right.
And they made an effort. And they're angry if they're like a minute late. Or they're angry that they had to run here, and they're apologizing because they're late.
Yeah.
You have to respect that, and you have to respect them. And then and through that, self-respect comes full circle.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, the self-respect thing is easy to not develop. The character, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the ability to say, I was wrong, or I have learned, or whatever it is. And we see a lot of that, like in social media, where you don't have to be resolute. You can just be whatever you want to be.
Right.
And so you don't respect yourself enough to respect somebody else, you know, and give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm glad to, like, let somebody rise and be Josue and like, oh, you mean you can do this? Okay, great. Well, then I'll stand back. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm right here with you. I'll cheer. I'll tell you to dig deeper, all that stuff. But I respect you enough. I respect myself enough that I don't have to solve your problem. You know, you are doing something different today. And, you know, that if you haven't relied on somebody else, you know, like in my job, if I'm out collecting and I'm talking, I'm as much as I can not focus on security and safety, because I don't get that luxury. I've got to focus on this person I'm talking to, because we're both in a combat zone. They're from Iraq or whatever it is. And behind me is an E5, and he's 100% focused on security. So I trust my life, my interpreter's life.
For him to get you 6.
Yeah. And you know what? He's got it. He's got it. He's got a radio. They know where I am. And I don't have to even think about it. I can 100% focus on my job. And, you know, it's like a team sport, you know, where it's like, like the guys who are on the fringes of being a professional, but the one thing they do the out of it. And so you're like, of course we want that guy, because like in basketball, like we have a guy who's the backup point guard. He's never going to be the starter unless students get hurt, but he can handle that job day in, day out, and we rely on him. It's the same kind of thing. And you can develop that in sports and in the military.
I believe, and yeah, that's very, very well said in a sense. And I almost just lost my thought because I was so entranced in what you said, and it was so meaningful. I totally forgot what I was going to say next. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's just
it's that team player role.
Yeah, well, that's maybe code for like wrap it up.
Either way, I mean, that's the impact, right? Like
Yeah.
those lessons are available to you in the military. That it's not hard to get up at 5:30. It's not hard to make your bed. It's not hard to polish your boots. Just do it.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. The things that the military teaches you that some people find inappropriate are also alarm bells on who you want to keep as your friends, right? Mm-hmm. Like sir and ma'am offend some people, but my stepfather said it could never hurt.
Yeah.
Right. So if you call someone ma'am and she gets uptight, did you just say ma'am? Maybe that's an early warning sign.
Yeah.
You know, like if she's curious, like ma'am, then she's humorous. And you tell your ex-military, we all get it, right?
Yeah.
Or like holding a chair for a woman, just a male virtue that also the military, you know, like putting your others in front of you, right? Like if you're in a date and you hold a chair for a woman and she's offended that you held a chair, maybe you run.
Yeah.
Run as fast as you get out.
Right.
Where's my camera? Get out. Because if they're triggered by that is a tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Right? That means that they're incapable of solving real problems because they're hysterical about imaginary ones.
Yeah.
Get out. And
door.
don't walk, and for sure run.
I held the door for a lady one time, and she got cross with me. I'm like, I'm just holding it. I've got a few extra seconds, and I'm just giving it to you and anybody else that comes to this door. It's not even about you.
Yeah.
It's about me trying to do a little something for everybody else.
Well, to quote Roman Israel, Denzel Washington, Esquire, right? They're like, this is sex. He's like, no, it's polite.
Yeah, it's polite.
And she's like, it's also demeaning. He's like, no, it's polite.
Yeah. If you choose to be demeaned, that's you. That's not me. I'm not doing that to demean you.
But that's one of the things that Steve Devlin says, sir or ma'am, all the time. Steve Cahn, you reach a certain age, you ain't calling nobody sir or ma'am anymore. So there's a cutoff, and we're almost there. We're 54, 55, right? But what Steve was talking about, discipline and learning respect, he emulates that.
Yeah.
He's out there right now, sitting in a beach chair watching these beach guys beat the hell out of each other, and he's known as the Matsa.
Yeah.
And they actually have tattoos. We draw fake tattoos of if you saw the picture, it's a white mustache, it's white hair, and the hat and the glasses. We have tattoos. We have Matsa tattoos because of the respect we have for this gentleman.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know he's a Marine. He's a Marine. That was a Marine. He's a Marine.
He is a Marine.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right. So we're checking out.
All right.
We're almost running out of file room. So I have to make a decision to use a new file for the hardware.
Well, that's a great show.
And I want to finish by going to my camera and showing my awards on the wall. So we're going to zoom in, and there it is. That's an expert rifle, expert Beretta, expert tank driver. I don't even know if they gave me that. I don't even drive a tank. So that's stolen valor right there. Expert grenades. Of course, I told you before the podcast started, like some of the stuff that was supposed to be shipped got stolen. So I don't have my good conduct medal there. I don't have my RCOM. But that's me.
Yeah.
That's me in a nutshell. And this is Pete Turner. Let's go back to you, my friend. Any Insta handle or anything to plug before we get out of here?
Pete A. Turner on whatever you want. YouTube's great. X is great. Whatever. Wherever you guys want to figure. I'm hard to find, man. It's like if you guys want to find me, you know how to find me.
Okay, cool. So Pete Turner might love you guys, but you know what? I always just say I don't love everybody. No, I love all of you today.
There it is.
I got mad love for all of you. I have love for citizens, and most of all, I have love for my fellow veterans.
Amen.
Hey, for the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Merchant Marines. This is Pete Turner. I'm Jason DeBeas. This is episode 264 of the Option Podcast. Stay with me as I hit my music, but for everybody else, thank you for joining us on this 2-part live series, but 1-part file. We're out. Come check out the Option Podcast on optionvb.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.